Hello, everyone. Welcome back to All Roads Lead to Rome, a Vampire the Masquerade game. Want to thank you for rejoining us and quick recap for everyone. Our players have gone to Locri as part of a diplomatic envoy, and last game they did not do a very good job. Unfortunately, they were quite handily outmaneuvered by the Carthaginian diplomats. So this game, we see if they can do any better and maybe make up some lost ground. And apologize in advance. Discord was giving us some issues this session, and we're going to be looking into a new streaming service. So, thank you everyone, and enjoy listening to our game. All right, guys, welcome back. We're on session 36. Just a quick reminder: we did last game session. We had several hours of negotiation time with Albana, with Hatshepsut, and with Nicodemus. And so we're going to start out on that same night, and we're going to open with Icarus and Labiana, who have been left to fend for themselves uh, in the room, in the room in which the negotiations are taking place in the same building. So you guys are by yourself in the room in which you spent the day, and let's take it up from there. So Labiana and
Okay.
Icarus.
Mm, so how much time do we have?
It is an hour after sunset. Uh, Nicodemus, Hatshepsut, and uh, Albana have just left to go to the negotiating table.
Okay. Uh, let's see. Are we? Did we stay in the city long enough to know if people will be active in such hours, or
Um,
are we still?
it even though it's a largest city, it's not Rome, and the sound does start to close down shortly after sunset. So things are starting to close up.
Um, Labiana, would you like to, well, explore the city a little bit?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't know how
Yeah.
long these negotiations are going to take. So.
Yeah, I really don't want to sit here and die because of boredom. This is not the way I want to die, to be honest. Yeah, let's go then. I'm sure they can, do it without much issue.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be alright without us.
So if there's like anybody watching us, I will probably tell that person or guard that we will leave and maybe give a little explanation of where we are going at.
There's nobody standing guard over your door. There is a guard. If you look to the left and right of the hallway, there's one uh, at the one end of each one at each end of the hallway. But there's nobody specifically standing guard over your door.
Okay, then I will just, ignore.
Just walk out, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are free to move about as you wish.
Okay. I will start with around the building, like explore the streets around the building.
Okay. So you exit. Uh, you turn left out of your room. You go to the end of the hallway. There's a set of carven stone steps or wooden steps. Actually, I apologize. Wood steps. You go down. Um, there's another guard at the base. They see who you are. They let you out. Uh, you exit. It's close to the city wall, and you are out on the streets.
Okay. I believe Labiana is with me. Okay.
Okay. It is a beautiful. It is actually raining outside. It is a rare nighttime storm. So the
Storm.
weather's
Okay.
wet. It's the rain's pretty warm actually, but it is raining outside.
Yep. Let's see. So I will first circle to where we are standing right now, like circle around, go behind the building, walk through the streets there, and just go with the flow.
Yeah,
So
there's
there's no space.
there's a few people out. Nothing. Mostly it's people like delivering stuff. You see people moving carts and delivering goods through the stores before they everyone locks up and goes to bed. Not especially with the weather. It's not crowded at all. There's plenty of room to walk in the crowd, even though the streets are very narrow. There's plenty of room to get around.
Mm-hmm. I can't hear you right now, Chris. I think you should change your.
I'm not saying anything. I'm waiting on you guys.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's plenty
Okay.
of room to move, walk,
I mean,
go wherever you so desire.
yeah. I mean, there's no specific thing in my head, so I will say, just till something happens, I will probably randomly walk. So
Okay.
you
Well,
can
as
take
long
me
as you
wherever.
stay inside the city, nothing's really happening. You may roll, if you wish, perception plus alertness, both of you. This would not be a good time to be using heightened senses.
Okay.
Go ahead and just roll perception plus alertness.
Okay. That's still no problem. Interesting. The
Labiana, you would swear that you caught a glimpse of somebody following you, but they are maintaining distance and not attempting to interfere with you in any way.
Is Carthaginian army like circling this city, or are they just like sieging one side of it?
Well, there's really only one way to get in and out of the city by land, and they are outside of that city. They are outside of the gates. You can, and there is a harbor, and the harbor is also blocked.
Blocked by Carthaginian?
Yes, by ships.
Okay. Um, I think I will walk towards the harbor for the view and all that.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are easily able to do that. Again, nobody stops you. The longer you walk, the later it gets, the fewer the people you see out and about. And you get to the harbor, and because of the weather and stuff, you can't really make anything out on the water. You just recognize that on the piers and on the rocks and stuff that line the beach, line the harbor, you see the big waves breaking up and crashing. So it's quite loud, very wet, and very dark.
Okay. Well, this city seems a little bit too empty for my taste. What do you think?
I guess I tend to agree.
I mean, it's a little bit too dark to go outside at this point, even for my standards, but maybe we can just take a peek at them inside the city walls, on the city walls, I mean. Take a peek to Carthaginian army.
Oh, so do you want to see what they're up to?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're inside the borders, it shouldn't be much problem.
Should be fine.
So next destination is the walls, city walls.
Okay.
Taking a little peek.
Yep, you can get onto the city walls decently easy. You walk to where the gate is located, and through the weather, you see that the camp itself, there's not much you can make out. But they do have a rough fence line set up that you can see, and there is a force of people watching the gate.
Okay. Yeah. I want to give a friendly wave to them. Like, hey.
Yeah, they don't respond.
Okay. It was just experimenting.
Yeah.
Raviana, I think this is so far we can do. Maybe we should go back.
The storm appears to be getting worse.
Yeah.
We should definitely go.
Yeah, I mean, the rain is getting intense and intense. I am already washed all around my body, but I don't want to get more wet. Yep, next destination, back to where we came from.
Okay. Yep, you guys make it back, no problem. You've been out and about for a couple hours, just walking through the weather. You make it back into the place, no problems. Nobody stops you again.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much I can do, so it's all on Labiana.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone else we can talk to once we get back in the chambers.
Well, nobody seems to be around. Again, there's just one or two guards. No serious force here. So you can hang out in the room if you like. Or you can try to do something else.
Is it possible for us to explore the building, like the chambers, rooms, possibly where the other party sleeps?
Okay, well, if you attempt to go over that way, you will make it to where the guard is standing, which is to the right outside of your room.
Okay.
And he will put his hand out, and he'll say, in very bad Greek, which you kind of have to struggle to understand. Basically, he says, you cannot come this way.
Okay. Yep, I'm turning back. Giving a nod and turning back. Well, this is a fail too.
So I guess there's not a lot that we can do at the moment.
I mean, we can train if you like to. Do you want to spare with me?
Well, say again?
Do you want to spare with me?
Spar.
No, spar, yeah. Brawling, you know. I can learn some stuff from you. I can teach you some stuff, you know, that kind of stuff.
Never really been one for sparring, but suppose is there anywhere we can go that we can spar?
We can do it in the waiting room.
This building is not really set up like that, but you can find room in the city to do it, no problem.
I mean, it just needs to be big enough. That's the only requirement. So.
Yeah, the room's not that big, but you could definitely find some room outside.
I'm just imagining them both going on an all-out training fight in the middle of the room.
The storm appears to have passed.
Okay. I mean, we can go outside and find a place, really. There isn't much to do. I'm just, suggesting ways to pass some time, if you understand.
Well, like I said, I just can't think of anything else that we'd be able to do while we're waiting for them to finish the negotiations.
Okay. Both you guys can roll a perception plus alertness roll again.
Okay. Do-do. Again.
Okay.
Um,
Neither one of you guys appears to notice anything. The streets appear to be quite empty.
okay.
So you are free and clear to do whatever you so desire you think you want to do when you spar.
Yeah.
Alright.
Uh,
Unless
I
you
mean,
do something really outrageous, we're gonna skip ahead to
yeah.
you get done, you go back to the room, everybody joins up.
I frenzy and slaughter the entire village.
I mean, there's nothing particularly in my head, so.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have a good fun time. Labiana demonstrates that she is actually quite skilled with a blade, far beyond what you would expect someone of her clan to be able to do. So, you make it
But
back to the room again, no problems. You're sitting there, you're talking about the training session, and here comes Hatshepsut, Albina, and Nicodemus. Finished with the negotiation. By now, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning.
We need to prepare. Okay, I think I have some ideas for tomorrow, but let's us go to our chambers and we can discuss it there, away from any prying eyes or ears.
Yes. I wonder who. They say that the group of diplomats from Carthage is composed of two, but only one was present back in the building. I wonder who the other one is.
Presumably, they shall be waiting in a similar room to where our friends Icarus and Labiana have been waiting.
Yes, but that also means that that other one might be doing something behind our backs, doing something to be, behind our backs to try to get some advantage.
It is indeed possible, but we don't exactly have much info to go off of if we want to try and track them down.
Would always ask that Bruja, that man back in, from the negotiations. Perhaps he might.
Somehow, I suspect he might find a way to twist such a question against us.
Not if we invite them out to a celebration. Something to
Perhaps.
show camaraderie beyond the bounds of mortal empire.
Well, we can consider that at some point, but there is one idea that occurred to me when near the end of the negotiations. Your city has a whole bunch of stories about the fabled hero Aeneas, correct? And his voyage from Troy to Italy.
He's asking that about Rome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perhaps we could come up with a tale linking either linking the village to Aeneas's travels, or perhaps if not at least linking its patron deities. it wouldn't guarantee them supporting us, but it could weight the prince's opinion in our favor.
Yes. Perhaps you should try looking around the city, the temples, see if there's anything that could help us in showing to the prince.
Perhaps.
There might be some stories, some popular folklore that might tell us more about it that we could use to reinforce our plan.
Chris, how much time till dawn?
Approximately 3 hours.
We probably don't have time to go looking for now, but just based on, we might be able to make something just on what information we do have. I do recall a story linking Cybele to Aeneas, and Cybele is often linked with Demeter herself, so perhaps we could draw on that. Come. Let's put our heads together on this. And out of character, basically what I'm thinking is like maybe a group role to try and formulate a story that can be dropped in the negotiations, for like a bonus to the argument. Like make a roll now to try and prepare a speech, prepare the tale, basically.
Okay, so this is going to be 2 dice rolls, and only one person gets to roll it. So decide who's going to make the rolls, and then for each person helping to craft what you're doing, add 1 dice.
I'll take it.
So the first roll is going to be a wits plus theology roll.
Will Labiana help with this? I assume Albina will. Nicodemus?
Theology? No thanks.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's 7 dice at difficulty. Was it 7?
6.
Difficulty
6. It's going to
Okay.
be 6.
And boom, boom, boom.
Ah. Okay. Do you have a theology specialty, or does it, or will it not apply?
Don't have a specialty yet.
Okay. Now the next roll is going to be manipulation plus expression.
Okay.
No bonus dice.
Well, again, 1 dice for anyone helping you to craft this, because what you've done is the first roll is to formulate the connection. You are brainstorming a connection. The second roll is how do I express this in a way likely to gain us favor.
But minimum requirement is 1 dot in the expression, right?
Correct.
Considering this is purely stylistic, could you still maybe help with this one, Nicodemus?
Yes. No problem.
Now, what I would have done is any successes above 1 that you had made on the first roll would be bonus dice to roll on the second roll.
Yeah, but you sucked at rolling that one.
Now, I'm aware that for this thing we've got a rule in place that for temporarily we aren't regaining willpower by each night. Yeah.
Correct.
Despite this, I would like to ask if I can spend a willpower on this roll.
Yes, you can.
force your will to express better. Oops, fuck.
Oh, 3 successes.
Not bad. So you managed to craft a tale of how Aeneas was essentially held captive in Rome, or not in Rome, in Carthage. I apologize. And he, Aeneas being the son of Aphrodite, and he essentially was let go and was part of the founding of Rome. He was essentially, they cast him as being an ancestor of Romulus and Remus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's going a little bit off memory, but I'm pretty sure that's how they did it here. Yeah, just going through a website real quick, just scrolling through. Yeah.
I'm just thinking because I'm not sure if it might have been a later addition to Tale than this period in time chronologically, but at some point an element gets added where Cybele basically lends Aeneas trees from her sacred grove to be built into ships.
That could be part of his escape from Carthage.
Sweet.
I could definitely see that of, well, we realize we did you wrong and you should be allowed to go free. Here, take this as a sign of our favor and go.
Okay, so we've got that. Then we've got we can play off of we can just generally play on the fact that Roman culture and the sort of this place is influenced by Hellenistic culture, right?
Correct.
So we can play off a greater degree of similarity in culture between Rome and Locri when at least when compared to Locri and Carthage.
I agree. There are numerous things we can pearl from. We share customs, we share gods in numerous cases, and in a way, Rome is Locri, and clearly, no Carthaginian can understand this because they're like a sea away.
And thirdly, drawing on some of the tales I heard, some of the reports rather of what's been happening during the war, Hannibal has been stalling the invasion of Rome itself a bit, hasn't he? I mean, no one doubts his abilities as a leader, and yet he has attacking Nola instead and failing, from what I've heard. And at the same time, his holdings in Hispania are under threat. So perhaps we could point to this and suggest that the Carthaginians are not so powerful as they appear.
Yes, may I ask, perhaps if we could also engrand, the our own advantages, if we could tell them for own advantage how Rome has been other enemies, if we could recount battles of Rome's past.
there were at least 3 Sicilian wars, which were basically Carthage versus Greeks in Sicily and Crete.
You can also there's also that, and we are present when that impenetrable fortress is posted in a few weeks back in, I believe, that tale of Roman valor, and try to use that to help the Sicilians see the wisdom of siding with Rome.
Perhaps.
Well, there's one more thing about cultures. I believe Icarus would have to correct me more on this, but um, but in Greek culture there is some emphasis on soldiery life, and obviously in Rome we have a great tradition about it, but a lot of it has been also predominant in our Greek cultures. And Carthage, they hire mercenaries to fight their wars for them, for the most part. I'm, however, uncertain if this is the angle for comparison that we can use when dealing with Philoston. He doesn't
I do
strike me as a martial arts.
maybe, but martial abilities are not just about war. It is not. We can also the craftsmanship of a people in tools of warfare. No doubt something that an artist would appreciate.
Indeed. I am not an expert on such things, but to my understanding, the siege equipment of the Carthaginians is not particularly well developed. Yes.
That's not something that's really well known. Would
Okay.
not be subject to common gossip.
How about this one? Maybe we can resurrect some old arguments. Carthaginians used to be naval supremacy in the Mediterranean fleet, right? But around the First Punic War, Romans got their hands on how to do naval stuff, and suddenly Carthage's supremacy was not so obvious. Particularly, one of the reasons was that Romans were able to force their melee supremacy onto the naval warfare through the use of Corvus device, which was no doubtedly constructed by some inspirations from the Greek. And
That
the
is
Carthaginians were unable to.
That's a point of great national pride. Actually, you would know that.
So yeah, Roman ingenuity combined with differently Greek ingenuity combined with Roman thoroughness and
Diligence.
yeah, allowed them to strip Carthage of its most obvious supremacy.
Yes, I think this is coming together nicely. Out of character, Chris. Is this negotiation supposed to last a set number of nights?
No indication was made, but the time clock that you're looking at here is, can you convince him to go swing one way or the other before the mortals of Carthage convince the mortals of Locri? That's kind of the time clock you're looking at here. It's not a set amount of time of 1 week or something like that. It's, you need to convince him to make a decision before the hands of the mortals are forced one way or the other.
Gotcha. Okay, and beyond that, it's if we have time to, if we do not have time this night, but tomorrow, Labiana, Icarus, if you could think of any way to try and find these missing parties in the negotiations, we might be able to glean something useful.
Yes, interesting. Why would only one of those diplomats be present during the meetings? What are the others up to? Would it be a crazy an insane consideration that they are busy swaying some of the other persons of people of note? In
And
fact, should we discover them doing so, that would give us an edge because obviously the only person you talk about is the Philiston. And to try and gain support behind his back, that would be one-way ticket to out of these negotiations.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
I just hope it is enough. Let's retire for the night.
Before the end of the night, I'd like to try to find there is a. We do not have a blood supply inside the city, right? I believe that he said to not cause too much, to not cause trouble, not alert.
Correct. That was the rule of just don't cause trouble and don't hurt people.
Okay, well, might be a good idea to find a brothel. Would be easy to feed from the prostitutes without having to hurt them. It would also uh, allow us to prepare this party to the other diplomats in case we to go ahead with that plan.
So the plan, you would like to find some mortals who are easy to feed on. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes. Likely, either a brothel or a tavern would be the likely best place, or maybe some slave market.
Um, you don't know enough about Locri to know where those would be. It has been under siege long enough that there's probably not much of a slave market to be had right now.
And there is no one in the street that she can ask about.
Like I said, there's a couple of guards out in the hallway. If you wanted to wait until tomorrow, you could ask. You could ask Molino, the ghoul, as she has pretty much been your contact the last couple of days.
Okay. Fuck. Albina has she's going to try to ask her when she wakes up, before the others do.
Okay, say that again?
Um, Albina has the early rise and merit, so she's going to try to, in the morning, the next day, ask the ghoul before the rest of the party wakes up.
Okay, you will wake up several minutes earlier than the rest of the guys, which you're pretty much used to doing anyways. Yesterday, she came an hour. Basically, she came and got you, said, "It's time, let's go." So she didn't hang out to answer questions. Are you going to do something to let her know that you need to talk to her?
Yeah, she's going to go looking for her earlier before the rest wakes up.
Okay. You could definitely do that. All right. So unless you guys have something else that needs to be done this tonight, we are going to go ahead and skip forward a few hours. The sun begins to rise. Everybody goes to the day sleep. Life in the city continues as it normally does. People shop. They patrol the walls. Sun comes out, bakes down on the city, dries out the rain from last night. Sun begins to set, and just as the sun peeks underneath the horizon, Albana's eyes pop open, and she sits up. Uh, Everyone else is beginning to stir from their slumber, but she knows she has several minutes before everybody is up and about.
She heads out in search of the good girl.
Okay? You exit the hallway. There's a guard to your right. There's a guard to your left.
She goes to the one at her left and asks him, so what's the name of...
The guard allows you to leave. He says he is not allowed to leave his post to deliver any messages.
But can you tell me where she is?
He says, I wish I knew, because I'd be spending time with her right now instead of sending guard.
What about any brothels and taverns around the city? Do you know?
Yeah, there's some. The slave markets have been pretty empty. The brothels are typically run out of the food markets and the wine market, mostly down by the harbor and over by the city gate is where most of them are.
Hello.
How far away is that?
Maybe 15 minutes walk.
Not enough for her to go there and check it out and come back, right?
Correct.
So yeah, she's just going to head back and wait for the others to wake up.
Okay.
It should be fixed now.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, the rest of you guys wake up. You are fully awake. Everyone's down 1 blood point.
I will go hunting because as early as possible, I want to go hunting.
Nobody has come to get you, any of you yet. If the pattern holds, she'll come in about an hour. So you have some time.
Okay.
Albina made the suggestion of going to check the brothel by the house, with the wine markets and everything.
Okay. So Albina walks out into the town. Nobody tries to stop her. The streets are beginning to empty. They're still somewhat crowded because the sun has just set not long ago. So there's that false sunset light in the sky where it's not quite dark, but it's not sunlight. So everyone's trying to finish off their business before they go back to their house.
For about half an hour before Malia is expected to come, Hank's gonna wander just in the general area, specifically keeping an eye out in case she spots any spirits. Just in case.
Okay. The spiritually, the city, I don't want to say dead. It just appears kind of empty. Uh, the weather outside tonight is pretty good. The like I said, the sky is clear. There's enough light as Hatshepsut wanders unmolested through the streets, and Albina heads immediately towards the harbor. You get there, Albina, of course, in about 15 minutes from where you're at, wandering through the twisty, narrow streets. And you begin to hear the sounds of people eating and drinking, and there are, as we said before, people out and about doing their business. So, how are you going to find this person if they are in the area?
She's just going to ask around.
She's actually pretty well known due to her profession of being a tavern singer, and that's how she makes money. And nobody that you talk to as you wander through has seen her in the last couple of days.
I see. Mm. What about does that looks any too big? What looks around the harbor? Like what kind of establishments are around the
Just nothing special that you see. It's a protected harbor. It's got, you've been sailing enough now that you've kind of understand the structure of such a thing. And there's a large chain that stretches from the outermost point, the two protective outermost points. There's a chain that stretches across the front. You can actually see it in the dim light. And just before you can't see much anymore due to the darkness, there are Carthaginian ships out on the ocean just outside of the harbor. The chain obviously keeps them from rowing in. It would rip the ships up. There's the usual assortment of fishing boats in the harbor. The typical architecture of wooden structures that are set up as food establishments, drink establishments, and warehouses, basically.
in the area around the ships are dark, right? There is no light around them.
Correct.
She takes notes of this and she heads back to as she goes to hunt around the area.
Okay. Go ahead and make your hunting roll. The standard difficulty is 6, and your usual modifiers apply.
By the way, after I hunt, I will immediately join one of the group members, whichever I know the location of.
You're gonna what?
After I hunt, I would like to join one of the Code 3 members.
Okay, well, I think most of them are back in the room, so...
Yeah, after a while walking around, her Hat will be making sure to get back before Melina should be getting in.
Yeah. All right, Albina, you easily find enough people to feed your fill.
Yep. She heads back to the group chamber after that, to the group head.
Yeah, you had so many successes, it doesn't even take you the full hour. You're done in half an hour. You're done. So you're back. By the time you get back, Melino's actually waiting on you to come back. So you're only about 10... between asking questions and stuff, I'd say you're about 10 minutes late. Your coterie would cover for you. You went out to feed to make sure, and she's like, okay, that's no problem.
So, okay.
For the rest of you guys, Icarus, by the time you get back as well, Milena is waiting. So she's showed up an hour after sunset, and she was kind of talking to everyone in the room. That'd be Hatshepsut and Nicodemus and Labiana, and just kind of waiting on the two of you guys to show up so that she could take the negotiating parties back.
Okay.
All right. So you're all back. Does anybody want to say anything to her before you leave for the negotiations?
Yeah, I was going to ask if we had to have a invite, start a celebration. What place would you recommend? Do you know of any place in the city that would be able to accommodate or fit in your requirements without harming enough, without making necessary to harm any of the mortals?
You want to have a religious celebration?
Not religions, a festival, a party,
Oh,
something
party?
to, yes.
I'm sure my master would be willing to pull some strings and get one of the uh, rich men of the city. I believe the Roman term for them is patricians. Get one of the patricians of Locri to uh, provide a establishment. Could be considered neutral ground.
Good. We are hoping to invite the Carthaginians along. It is not. We have no. We bear no ill will towards them.
On a personal level.
Yes, and we like to make sure that they understand that.
Well, such matters are beyond my skill, unfortunately. However, I'm sure my master would be willing to accommodate, should you request it politely.
We will bring that up to him. Thank you for your assistance.
Right. So I will be leading you to the negotiating chamber. For those of you who are party to that, if you would please follow me.
We'll follow.
Um, Out of game question. When you are member of the negotiating party, do you have to speak? Like, can you just stay there quiet and just observe? Is it option too? Right,
Um,
like,
Out of character, that's completely up to you guys. Uh, so they have set no conditions on how many people may show up. So
Um, Hatshepsut will actually say, I would prefer it if you keep an eye out for the other Carthaginians.
there's nothing to keep an eye on. It's the place is so dry, as if I'm like walking on sand.
Then I presume that that the day prior I would have mentioned to the others that Laviana felt she was being. It was likely she was being watched.
Oh, you've been watched.
Trying to keep her eye
Interesting.
out.
I mean, they did nothing, and we did nothing important, so it's not that much problem. Of course, there can be some spying eyes, but either case, you guys do your negotiating. We will try to find some entertaining thing in this dry city.
Yeah, and good luck in there.
okay, to the negotiating chambers. She leads you up to the. She leads you to the left. She leads you up to the 3rd floor. Then she leads you to the negotiating area. It is, again, in the tower. So it's actually like 4th or 5th. But you go up to the same room you were in the previous night. The prince is there waiting on you. So is Acreon. And he appears to be quite relaxed. And he is still standing. And Master Philistin is sitting. Between the 3 of you guys, you can roll wits plus etiquette.
I'll be right back. Need to grab a drink.
That's okay.
Stuff.
Right. Albina, you realize that you have committed a breach of etiquette in arriving after the master of the area has arrived.
Abner immediately curtsies and says, "Forgive us for our tardiness. We had the need to feed before we could properly be present. We would not wish to appear while believed to be very uncontagious and inconsiderate of us to do."
He nods and gestures towards the seats that you were in the previous night.
Abner heads to the seats and waits for the rest of the coterie to join.
As you guys go to sit down, Acreon also sits down. As soon as Hatshepsut returns to the microphone, we'll get started. Yeah, the Icarus and Labiana, while we're waiting, what are you guys going to be up to tonight?
Nothing special in my head.
So perhaps
Alright,
keep an eye out for these other absent.
maybe you can... Oh, by the way, sorry. Well,
So you guys are specifically going to go look for them. Is that what I'm understanding?
I have another suggestion. Before we choose to do so, maybe Labiana can make some search about the stuff we discussed yesterday, the other night, and I can, like, I don't know, stand next to him while he makes the search about some stuff. this option.
You want Labiana to search for stuff.
You mean separate?
Well, I mean, search about Carthaginians and Rome, anything that can help negotiation to very below average. So, or we can just try to spy them, of course, as you say. And while I say the spy, I'm trying as quiet as possible. Just
Well,
And as inconspicuously as possible.
yeah. Well, you guys know approximately where they are staying, but they won't. The guards won't let you over there, so you know that.
Is there a window? Like when we traveled around the building, did you see any window on their side of the?
It's laid out pretty similar to yours, and yours is an inner chamber, just for safety's sake. So there is no possibility of sunlight.
I understand. Well, I mean, we can go up.
Wasn't I? Was there any position where we'd be able to stand outside a specific window and we might be able to hear something?
I'm back. Are we all dead?
No, we've been kind of waiting on you while Icarus and Labiana discussed strategy for how to stake out the other negotiators.
Strategy.
I heard that we'd fucked up cat-wise.
Yeah.
Albana made a apology.
Okay.
So, all right, you guys, everybody sits down. We're back at the negotiating table. Everyone sits, and Phillison turns to Acreon and says, "Since I allowed the Romans to make the first statement yesterday night, tonight I would I'll allow the Carthaginians the first statement." And Acreon looks over and he says, "Thank you, Master Poet. Your hospitality in the city continues to honor us, and we are grateful for your efforts. Last night we discussed Roman diplomacy. We discussed the duplicity of Roman treaties, where they would set up a treaty to purposefully cause conflict. A case in point being the situation in Saguntum, where the Romans used vague language in an attempt to justify aggression in the region by signing a treaty declaring a city to no longer belong to them, and then claiming that a city and the region they ceded belonged to them. Now, I would like tonight, just for a moment, to discuss Carthage and our behavior. First, about Carthage itself. It would take someone of your skill to fully do the city justice, but I shall try. The city is carved of stone, each block perfectly fit to the next. The harbor is large and protected, a marvel of engineering suitable for the greatest city of the region. Water flows to the city through aqueducts and pipes built by Rome was but a collection of mud huts. I have walked the market streets in the pre-dawn light and witnessed the people of our city from all over the continent as they lay out carpets, prepare food, pour their opening drinks. And as the city begins to come to life and I must retire, I am always struck by how full of life and happiness and harmony of our city. But more, Carthage was founded as an ideal with the goal of improving on the second city. In Carthage, you do not need to disguise yourself. The people on the street are proud, even honored, to walk the same streets as the Canaanites. We live in harmony, each helping the other. Together we have built a city without the help of the Ventru. And not only you, Master Poet, but my Roman counterparts here are invited, and once you step foot on there, you will not want to leave. You will not want to go back to having to hide your existence, to having to creep through the nighttime streets in search of willing people to feed from. In Carthage, they will offer you their wrist. Which brings me to my point of speaking of Carthaginian honesty and diplomacy. During the sunlight hours, word reached to the camp that King Philip of Macedonia has agreed to a formal alliance with Carthage. Rome is now pressed on all four sides, north, south, east, and west. Second, several of the cities have defected painlessly and without loss of life to the Carthaginian cause. 1 week ago, Capua, second largest city on the peninsula of Italy, has come to our side. Venetia and Luceri came to the Carthaginian cause as well, which has now given Hannibal Barca complete control over the Appian region. And Paestum, which is only a few days of chariot riding away, has also come over. Each city threw open their gates, allowed the Roman garrison to depart unharmed, and welcomed the Carthaginians in. Master Philison, Locri, is but one of only a few holdouts left south of Rome. We are prepared to offer generous gifts as a display of our sincerity, and hope that you would help the mortals of the city see the light as have the other in this region. I have already offered you full and complete terms for our help. And I hope that you have had much time to consider them. And now I will yield the floor to my Roman counterparts to present a counteroffer.
Out of character, so he's done.
Yes, he's quite done.
Certainly, your description of the military situation paints Carthage as a formidable force. I must ask, however, if Carthage is in such a powerful position right now, why has Hannibal not stormed Rome? Why has he instead been roaming about the countryside, pillaging what small villages and failing to take the city of Nola? Why has he not seized these advantages and pushed them to gain the maximum profits? No one doubts Hannibal's brilliance. Even in Rome, he is respected for his skill, if not for his personage. And yet he delays. And moreover, you may have heard that recently the Carthaginian forces have been being defeated in Hispania, one of Hannibal's strongholds of domain and influence and power. It seems that perhaps your military position is not so secure as you might think. But that is only one side of the equation.
If I may, I would like to answer to two of your questions before you continue.
Go ahead.
First, the lone defeat in Hispania occurred a year ago. Has there been more defeats since? For I have heard of none. And about Nola, that is one of only two holdouts, Nola and Locri. Unfortunately,
Yes.
The personages in Nola violently rejected and attacked the Carthaginian embassy who had gone to talk to them. No such situation has occurred here, and as I explained, except for these two holdouts, the entire half of the peninsula south, from Capua south, has come to support Carthaginians. Yes, they may put out a good fight for a while, but no one city can hold out indefinitely. Now, about Rome, I'm afraid Master Hannibal Barca is not here to answer these questions. He is out in the field working. And you say no one is scared of him, but I read fear in your voice. If they did not fear him, why has your first citizen not come to negotiate personally? Is he scared to leave the walls of Rome? After all, Master Philison invited him personally, and instead sent, well, you, to negotiate in his stead.
Our presence here is not due to fear, but due to the fact that cities as great as Rome require constant management, constant uh, a constant watch. Mm.
Indeed,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
indeed. Um, I, I use somehow. If I am mistaken in this, please correct me, and I would apologize. But I'm going to hazard a guess that you are not the rulers of the vampires in Carthage, and yet here you are.
I am broodmate to Hamilcar the Pale, ruler of the Canaanite population of Carthage. I have looked into the eyes and spoken with great Bruja himself, who resides in Carthage. I do not believe you can boast the same.
Hatshepsut actually just barely, it's visibly stifling a chuckle. She manages to hold it, but it's clear that it was some effort. You are talking, you do realize that you are talking to, right now, you are talking to someone who is who is a client of one of the most noteworthy Ventru in the in
Well,
the
I
these
wish I would. I wish I could believe that. Truly, I
current
do.
nights, yeah. So
As
what you are able to now was for a significant to rule.
all right,
Do you not be certain of? But the the point of the matter is, another point worth noting is you claim that no one city can one army. Hannibal is cut off from many potential routes for reinforcement, and I dare say the Roman general Fabius would likely be able to harry many reinforcements that tried to bolster him before they were able to regroup. Indeed, indeed, the fact that Hannibal must resort to pillaging the countryside suggests that he is starting to run thin in terms of resources himself.
With every battle, defeat or victory, we grow stronger. Hannibal grows weaker. As Plutarch once, if we are victorious in one more battle, the Romans shall be utterly ruined, and I believe the same can be applied to your Hannibal, and indeed to Carthage.
Further, let us discard the military accomplishments for a moment. Put that to one side because while it can certainly show what might be in the city's perhaps best interests, might does not necessarily make right. After all, I would I would I would remind you that the culture that's developed these great walls, these aqueducts, and so forth that you praised earlier, was of Hellas, who have not exactly enjoyed pleasant relationships with Carthage. Indeed, were there not uh, fr- were there not several wars on over Sicily between the Greeks and Carthaginians? Furthermore, during the Pyrrhic War, when King Pyrrhus forced this city to support him and then cruelly pillaged it even after their support, Rome did not use this as an opportunity to exact retribution while the city was at its weakest. We understood that it had its hand forced, and we allowed it a chance to regain its honor, which it has done immensely. So I must ask, are you willing to betray that noble people?
Acreon laughs. I see you return to Roman diplomacy. You are supremely confident, I'll give you that. You claim to be clients, and I have no doubt you're telling the truth. You claim to be clients of Artemis Orthia, yet she is no longer in control of her own country, is she? I believe that's now ruled by another Ventru of a different lineage. She cannot hold on to her own holdings. You have brought up Roman diplomacy and how magnanimous they can be. And yet, they, only a year ago, they razed a city to the ground and carted off the statues of Aphrodite located within. Carted them off to Rome. So, yes, things in the past have flown, like the tides, flown in and out both ways. There have been issues where Carthage has taken umbrage with the mortal population of several areas, rightly or wrongly. And yet now the tide flows our way. I bring up again, can Rome stand against the might of half of its own population turned against itself? I think not. They continue to throw people into the meat grinder. The valuable blood within their army's veins lies spilled on the ground. No one to till their fields. No one to plant crops. No one to plant children to repopulate. Meanwhile, Hannibal, who has uh, accomplished all this with only 20,000 Carthaginian soldiers, has continued to raise armies of populations who voluntarily sign on with him. And while you are on the subject of Roman military success, allow me to remind you of Cannae, when a Roman force of 80,000 soldiers was annihilated to almost the of 79,999 of them were eliminated, allowing only one man, a consul, to escape against an army of not even 50,000 men with minimal losses. So yes, do go on about Roman military successes. there will be the occasional battle lost. In the long run, Hannibal and his genius will win out. All that remains is to be seen, will you join with us voluntarily or by force?
Just if you must think of, can I just consider something? Can you think of any nation, any other city or nation that would have managed to continue on despite the losses at Cannae? One that, in fact, it has held out for several other battles, and even after having so many of its sources wiped out, as you say, Cannae was a disaster, and yet Rome still perseveres because the Romans realize that that many great difficulties can be overcome if they just have the will to persevere.
You are
Is,
saying. Sorry, go ahead.
is that not an inspiring? Is that not an inspiring tale? Indeed, indeed. I'm certain many would hope that their own citizens could boast such tenacity.
You talk about asking about who shall plant babies, women, and seeds on our fields, and yet our fields, our grain storage remain, and yet our armies keep growing. The gods favor us. The wombs of our women remain fertile, and the soil of our fields remain productive.
Pray recall the story of how Demeter herself blessed Aeneas, who led to the founding of Rome, with the materials necessary, granting trees from her own sacred garden to ensure that Aeneas could fulfill his destiny in founding Rome.
Yes, you bring up 2 points that I'd like to address. First, I can think of no other nation which would so cavalierly throw its own population and destroy the herds of its own most noble, and he gestures to Philiston, most noble keepers. And how many Canaanites of such magnitude have seen their cities depopulated and had to leave their homes and suffer for the whims of Camillus? And now, you bring up Aeneas. Yes, Carthage let him go with blessings, many blessings, hoping to be friends. And yet here we are, having suffered at the hands of Rome, having had wars. We wish nothing but to be friends. Hannibal does not wish to conquer and grind Rome underneath his boot. He merely wishes Rome to surrender. And he'll leave.
Out of character, is Hannibal's blood oath a known fact, or is that something that is discovered later in reviewing history?
Would any captured soldiers from Hannibal's forces would speak of his vigor and his hatred towards Rome?
I think of all of you guys, Nicodemus would probably know that, would have heard of it, because he has the academics rating to back that up. His blood oath was literally, Hannibal never wanted to step foot in Rome. He just wanted them to admit that Carthage was better.
Can you tell me? can you tell me how Nicodemus know of his blood oath? We're talking about the blood oath that he wants.
Correct, because you've
Rome
talked to many
destroyed.
different philosophers, including one from Carthage, and I have no doubt that would have come up in conversation. Additionally, all the soldiers you talked to. That would that probably has basically become somewhat wide knowledge. You wouldn't know the exact
and
words.
His father as well, because he suffered humiliation.
Yes.
Because he was witness to the suffering of humiliation.
Correct.
Okay. So Nicodemus would chime in, and he'd allow himself a bit of a scholarly expression and thoughtful one. Yes, that's something we've heard, that Hannibal only wants Rome to send. But I've heard accounts of his father out of character. What was his name?
Hamilcar, yeah.
Confusing.
Father, I'm pretty sure.
His father Hamilcar's hatred for Rome was well known, and to further on, he has inflamed this hatred in Hannibal. I've heard tales from survivors from the battles and from Carthaginian captives of the fire that arose in his eyes whenever he having to destroy Rome. Blood. That doesn't sound me like desire for surrender. And also, since we're talking about numbers, you do like numbers, I see. The trek through Alps, one would say it was a madman's choice to go through Alps with all the army and all the people he has brought with himself. A very cunning plan, and certainly hard to predict. But the loss of life there, that was incredible. And the ferocious elephants, how many of them died there as well? Now, that doesn't seem like he was willing to sacrifice his own men only to get through the Alps to Rome. How many? Some accounts, I've heard whispers that it was most of his army that perished in the Alps, trapped between ravines, falling to their deaths, being crunched by the rocks, and being assaulted by natives. That doesn't sound like someone who wants Rome to surrender. That sounds like someone who wants Rome destroyed. Furthermore, I've also heard that it was quite the news as well. In his bid for friendship with the Gaulish tribes in northern Italian peninsula, Hannibal was very thorough in making his point, as so far as to raising a whole village down to the last mother, child, and elder, just to prove his point. That's very fine way to show a friendship.
And yet, look at all the tribes that profited by friendship, who simply allowed them to pass.
You talk about the elders that lost their herds, that went to fight Pharaoh. Yet, might I remind you that those same elders, when they stayed behind, when they find themselves under Carthage stakes, being burned on Carthaginian fires, and might I remind you about how cozy the Carthaginians had been getting with the werewolves of all people the the werewolves have shown themselves to have no sympathy for for our kind. What kind of life can we expect once the Carthaginians leave? Once the battle has been won by their side, should they achieve the promised victory that we talk about? Can we expect the werewolves to go back to their forests?
Well, I cannot speak about to the werewolves, but what I can say is that yes, Hannibal did swear an oath of hatred against Rome, but that oath did not include razing it to the ground. Are you telling me that if Rome was reversed, that Rome would not march into Carthage and tear it stone from stone? After all, they tried to do that 20 years ago.
We likely would, yes. Make no mistake, this is a war of annihilation. One side wins, and the only option is total victory or total destruction. That is goes for both sides. I assume that will be obvious already for one such as yourself. You seem smart. Surely you would notice that.
Since we're by the talks about war of annihilation, I've met many survivors of our own kindred lineage that has made their way back to Rome, spreading tales of ruthless Carthaginian vampires slaughtering and killing and diablerizing any Canaanite that they would find upon their path. Well, you just spoke about your magnificent city, the great new second city, much improved second city, where Canaanites and Cain may live together. Well, where are all the invitations to the Canaanites that met their end? While Hannibal and his Canaanite friends made their way towards Rome.
There are many Canaanite refugees within Rome, and none of them had ever ever spoken about surrender. None of them have ever talked about joining Carthage. It's clear that what they saw was not inspiring in that regards. It's clear that the only emotions that they have within them suggest that Carthage plans for them are not nearly as kind as you suggest.
Out of character. We know for a fact that was it Apollonoi that we went to last?
Yeah. I don't think we can connect it to Carthage just yet.
I mean, we do know that they are related somehow. That if the Carthage is not behind it, at least they would be benefit from it.
Oh, we suspect, but we only have the visions to back it up as being a sort of link. But I don't think we know anything to link what's happening there to the Hannibal's offensive.
Some of the graffiti was written in Phoenician.
That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, in a city that doesn't speak Phoenician.
That still doesn't prove anything because someone might have planted it. I don't really think so. I'm not really sure if that's worth the argument.
Perhaps.
Visions themselves are a valuable argument.
Okay, not to Nicodemus, but you are free to present it.
Well, we don't really know if the prince is the kind who puts stock in such things, so it might be best to not chance it.
It are the visions of a seer. The seers I believe the seers are widely respected pretty much the entire antique world. Syracuse amongst them. Sicily amongst them.
So, you speak of only one side has spoken of a war of annihilation, and yet you would, in the next breath, you would cast a stone at Carthage for taking prisoners, for killing those who
What
resist.
prisoners? What resist? They didn't resist. They didn't know what was happening. They were brutally murdered in their sleep, or very close to it.
We are all vulnerable during the day.
We present honesty. We
So,
are honest
let
about
me ask this again. Where were their invitations? They received no offer to surrender, no invitations to your magnificent city. They were slaughtered. That's not taking prisoners.
really? And
I
have
mean,
you asked any of them personally this question?
Yes, in fact, a lot of them.
though few who did escape have come to Rome and been welcomed with open arms.
and they have chosen to pick up arms against Carthage. They are willing to fight again and again,
And
and it's clear that where their loyalty lies, and that speaks to how well Rome has treated them in the past, and how harsh Carthage has been with them in their invasion.
and yet the elders of Capua, second largest city, has joined with us. The advisors of King Philip V of Macedonia advised him to join with us. Tell me,
So you're
the gangrel of the Northern Peninsula and the Alps have joined with us. If you wish to speak of allies and treatment, you must consider both ends. And once again, I remind you, only you spoke of annihilation. We have an endpoint where we would like to stop.
That's not, we are not talking about the annihilation of the Canaanites leaking Carthage. We are talking
Less than
about
5 minutes ago, you said this was a war to annihilation and only one side will win.
Yes, for the mortals, not for us. We must remember, this is our Carthage. There is a doom, but it does not need to be for you or for any of the kindreds in Carthage. The annihilation is the end of our empire, but not the end of people, of Canaanites. We must remember we are not we are we can now out we the kindred the Canaanites of Rome have no desire to see the extermination of the ones in Carthage.
I don't think that's true. I think that your entire argument is going in circles, as on one hand, you have said that the refugees in Rome, the Canaanites who are now citizens of Rome, have taken up arms and wish to see our end, and yet on the other hand, you have now said, no, that's not true. We don't wish to see your end. So which
They do
is
not
it?
wish. They do not wish to see the end, the extermination of the kindred in Carthage. They wish to see the end of the invasion.
The
They
end
wish-
of the mortals.
Yes, the
Further,
end of the empire.
oh wait, hold on, out of character. We know that Democritus is rough. Well, wait, no. We know. Wait, never. Shit, I forgot out of character where I was going. Fuck.
Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We are going to pause negotiations tonight. The argument continues the rest of the night. And you feel, I will allow you guys individually to make wits plus empathy rolls. Just make one at difficulty 6. This is going to represent you reading Phyllison's body language all night as this argument continues.
One each, yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be entertaining.
7 or 6 difficulty?
6.
6.
You guys should
Okay.
press on the.
Albina and Hatshepsut, you're not really getting much out of them. Nicodemus, you feel like you've maybe regained a little bit of ground. And from
Nicodemus.
last night, you feel like Phillison has seen that. Well, you're getting the impression that you're maybe making a little bit of ground with Philiston. That yeah, you had a bad first night. You a better second night.
So Nicodemus has been making a point to observe his reactions, Philiston's reactions. In fact, that was the reason he remained silent for the first half of this exchanges. So would he be able to figure out which points seem to resonate with him?
First, the fact that he could walk without hiding in the streets of Carthage, that was number one. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
The ego boost of recognition, especially for a Toreador, right? The second,
ego boost of recognition. So you're referring to the parts whenever he Acreon praised the Locri? Or
it's more of
was it, or it's still the fact
And
that
the hospitality of the city.
the fact that he, as Phillison, can no longer put stuff out as, yes, I'm that Philiston. Right.
In the Carthage, when he won't have to hide, he can't claim to be. He won't have to be able to put out.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I get it. And the second one?
The second is, that Rome has an incredible fighting spirit, and they're going to go until the last man, falls. But on the other hand, Acreon made a good point of, if Rome does that, there will be nobody left to feed on. Not with blood, and not even with poetry. There'll be nobody left to appreciate this. So that both of those were Acreon's good points, where he scored with Phillison.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where you guys scored was the fighting spirit of Rome. It's going to keep going. With the fact that Hannibal is only one man, and he seems to be all they have. So yeah, they've made a lot of success in negotiating, but they've had to turn in negotiations because Hannibal can't be everywhere at once, winning battles. So those areas are where you have scored points. Now I'm going to go to Labiena and Icarus and allow you guys to chew on that for a little bit. Maybe send some private messages if you want. And kind of plot out how you think the third day should go. Right, Icarus and Labiena. Have you guys made a plan?
Okay, well, we agreed to try and figure out what happened to these no-show and the other side.
I mean,
How do you think we should go about that?
I mean, you said somebody was following you the other night, right?
I had a feeling. I could see everyone was kind of following us, but
This time,
not wanting to engage.
I understand. This
It
time,
could be related.
Maybe this time we can take a little bit more obvious walk on the street and make them stalk us easier, only to catch them at appropriate moments, if you understand what I mean.
Try and set some sort of not a trap, but
It's like a trap, yes. Like, we will make the expression that we don't know we are being followed. But then, in a corner or something like that, We just, have a simple, easy talk with them peacefully to see what's the meaning behind this talking.
We can certainly try that as a first option.
Oh, Chris, your cam is open. Interesting, you solved the problem.
Yep, I had to clear all my internet history to make it work, but I finally got it. All right. So you guys are stepping out onto the city streets, and you basically walk the streets for some time, maybe half an hour or so, and you notice it, as stated, that the streets are emptying rather rapidly after the first hour or so of sunset. This is going to be opposed rolls. You both get perception plus alertness against their wits plus stealth.
So, does it
Actually,
make
they're going to roll dex stealth.
Okay. Does it make difference that we assume we are being followed and therefore having more, awareness, more dedication to find it? Would it
Not
affect
really.
somehow?
I will, however, give ties to you guys. Instead of ties to the defender, it'll be ties to you guys.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Probably because of that.
Perception alertness, and because it's not. Can we now? Is it safe to use aspects?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, that make difficulty 5, yeah?
5 success.
If you are using heightened senses, yes.
Yeah.
And roll 20 froze up on me.
And your chem is frozen too. So.
Oh, goodness.
At least you didn't botch, then I have 5 success, so it shouldn't be much problem.
No, I just failed. It just didn't work. I don't notice anything this time. Which is a shame, the one time I wanted to succeed.
Okay.
So, does my voice change when I speak like this? This is the new roleplay I'm going to do. I can do this constantly before my throat breaks and I die.
Okay. I'm just waiting on the webpage to reload here.
So I can try again.
Problems.
All right, Icarus. Wow, very nice roll. 5 successes versus an Labiana's 0. All right, well.
Maybe because your voice is like cutting.
Okay, let's see. Okay, you guys notice as you are walking the streets, you hear a rattling and a and you turn around and you see a very beautiful woman turn the corner, and she is definitely not a local. All right. So you, as I was saying, you hear a clang. Something hits, and she's definitely not a local. And standing beside her, whom Icarus sees.
See what is.
I did change the server.
At least.
And so who Icarus also sees is a man who looks rather like a modern day college professor. So for anybody watching on YouTube, obviously it's these two that they see. So for you guys, last game I sent you those pictures. However, I will try to resend.
Maybe it's the point.
You guys
Do
hear
you
me
guys?
now? Anything better?
Oh yeah, it's better. It's better
I
now.
don't know. I keep
Yeah,
changing the
since you're
server
cutting
around.
in and out, so
Yeah, I keep changing the server. Okay. So you hear this clang as something falls, and both of you whip around, and you see this beautiful woman turn the corner, and she is obviously not a local.
Okay.
Icarus only sees a man with her, and he's very slim. Uh, he's going bald. He has a kind of a scruff on his face, and you also see him turn the corner with her, but Labiana does not.
Can
I'm
my
going to
eye?
take a minute to reload these things here for you guys so you know the pictures.
Yep. Can my eyes reflexively,
No, that's you have that's
observe?
an effort. It takes time to do.
Okay. Yeah, I still want to do it. Because why heck not? Because they don't seem like from
Well,
here.
when you have when you have time to observe them.
Okay. So we see them when we turn the corner, you say. So are they like front of us or behind
They
us?
were following you, and you heard something which drew your attention, and you see them like ducking away from you.
Okay.
and we have met these people before, haven't we?
No, you have neither one of you have.
Oh,
The two people who have met them are in the negotiating room.
right.
So I believe I don't need to say that I have all my equipments with me.
Okay, that's what you both whip around and you definitely see the girl. Both of you definitely see the girl.
Yep. Do they seem like they know we saw them? Do they like? Do they?
The way they acted was that they saw you looking for them and were ducking away so that you did not see them. However, there is no way to tell if they know that you saw them or not.
Okay. I would like to act normal, nothing different. And while doing that, I would like our back is facing to them, so they don't see our faces, I believe. So I would like to quietly speak with Labiana and tell, let's turn from this corner and like hide, duck somewhere and wait them to, follow. Something like this.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that will be our action, like at the first turn, we will just go there, hide somewhere, and wait till they also follow from the same road, and then like surprise, you find something.
Okay, both of you guys make dexterity plus stealth rolls to hide.
Okay, that's something I can do.
Sorry for that.
Difficulty 6.
Interesting. Yeah. But they still need to turn the corner to see us. That's after we do the stealth thing.
Okay. You turn the corner and you're kind of like ducking and hiding, kind of like looking out around the corner of the building, and you see the two of them begin walking down the street, and they get not terribly close to you guys, but they both kind of stop at the same time, and they're looking right where you guys disappeared to, and they kind of duck their heads together and they're whispering, talking to each other.
Do we
It's
hear?
not close enough for an easy ambush. They're far enough away that you cannot hear them, and they're far enough away where you can't really ambush them. But you could very easily keep going in the direction you were going and they would not be able to see you do it.
Okay. But not even the supernatural senses coming from the aspects can help me to hear them, right? Like hearing.
Right, they're just a little too far away.
Okay.
There's no way we can circle around to get behind them.
Yes, you could circle around.
Yeah, we would like to try that if it's possible. Like circle around.
Okay. This is
Out
gonna be
maneuver them.
You're gonna make dexterity plus stealth rolls, and Icarus, your difficulty is 7 because you're carrying around a lot of clanking stuff.
Yep, I do. So therefore, I would like to try to do a little bit more than my possible limits and spending willpower point.
Okay, you can do that. All right, so they are also making dex stealth rolls trying to sneak up on you guys. So this is going to be weird. 2 people trying to out sneak each other. Well, 4 people trying to out sneak each other.
This is going to be fun.
None of whom have obfuscate, funny enough.
I presume there's my dexterity apply here.
Yeah, this is really funny. 4 people with no obfuscate trying to sneak around each other.
Chris, I would like to ask again if you didn't turn.
I did not hear you.
I presume my dexterity special does not apply here.
Footwork?
Yeah.
Actually,
footwork.
it probably would. However, you don't need it.
Okay. Because it will add like one more success to me, then it will be 4.
Yeah, you guys are circling around, and you realize as you're circling around, they were trying to follow your trail, but you are actually getting very close to getting to getting their backs. So make one more dexterity plus stealth roll, and they're going to make perception plus alertness rolls to realize what just happened.
Okay. This difficulty 7 again?
For you, yes.
So 3 success from this. So it's a tie. Was it winner or defender who wins in a tie?
As you guys are closing in, you see the man. He taps the woman on the shoulder, and they both take off in different directions.
Okay. I would like to, inform, like, I don't know, have some skin contact with the Labiana and just follow the guy. Like, just follow the guy, dump the woman. 2 of us following the guy.
Okay.
At the very least, we know we're being followed.
As you speak, Labiana is going to feel something. Actually, we're going to have to wait for a second. Which way do you guys go? How do you do it?
We follow the guy.
Okay.
So, they changed the road, so they took different roads, and we together followed the guy.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
Okay. LMNOP for presence.
Presence, Jesus. Can it affect us even if they are like we don't see them or they don't see us? Like,
you have to see it. The person who activates this activates it before she takes off. Before they take off. I said she. It is she. It's her. And she is targeting Labiana for this.
Interesting. Whoa, one.
What is Labiana's current willpower rating?
Just double check. It's 5.
Yep. Have you spent any willpower points since you arrived in the Locri?
No.
All right, so you should have your max willpower then.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend willpower, by the way. Just so you know, Laviana, you can like resist presence by spending willpower. And when you spend like enough willpower point equal to the success, you are immune to it for the rest of the night. In this case, it's two
That's only
successes.
all, by the way. That's only for
Oh.
all.
Oh,
What's this then?
Laviana, you are entranced.
Oh boy.
You feel that you would do anything for that woman. Absolutely anything.
Okay.
However, they do both take off. And as she leaves, you still feel the effect. You feel absolutely devoted to what that woman wants. Like, she's your best friend and your sister all at the same time.
So would that mean I'd want to follow her then?
That's up to you. She cannot make you do something.
Just,
So, you tell me what you're doing.
if I'm
Chris,
devoted to her,
I mean,
then
I don't want to do this in the half of the session, but just a quick copy paste from the presence power description, not individual power.
In presence, you may spend a willpower point and roll difficulty 8 to resist the presence.
And it's like not under the AVE, but under the presence description.
Under presence,
yeah.
anyone can resist presence for one scene by spending a willpower point and then succeeding on a willpower roll difficulty 8. So long as you are within the vicinity, as long as you can see the person doing it, you have to continue to spend willpower. And that is
then she's
entrancement.
taken off.
Yeah. So he's not in the weave too. There's something.
And it is under all where it says, once you have spent the number of willpower points equal to the successes rolled, you ignore it the rest of the night.
Okay.
Given she's no longer in range, I can't.
Yeah, well, you still feel the effect. You're not compelled to do anything. What would you do given that emotion? You tell me. That's the weakness of presence. They can't make you do anything. All they can do is control your emotions. So, you guys have elected to follow the guy. That's my understanding.
Yeah, we choose. I mean, I don't know what happens
This
after
does
the
not
presence.
inhibit that. All right? So, you're following the guy. Dex Athletics. And
For us?
yes, both of you guys. And he is going to do two things. One is he is running, and one as... Well, one right before he runs and one after he runs.
Okay. So, are we running too?
They're taking off. Are you following him?
I say we follow the guy.
Yes, so make a Dex plus Athletics roll.
For running, right?
For following him quickly.
Okay, so my specialty doesn't apply for it.
This isn't a sprint, but if you want to see where he went, make a Dex Athletics roll.
Yeah, I'm going to Dexterity Athletics roll then. I'll make it.
Div 6 then?
Yes.
Because of the armor,
Icarus,
I
what is
presume
your current willpower?
My current willpower point or normal willpower?
Willpower points.
5. Because of the armor, I believe I have penalty. Because I wear the armor, so...
All right.
Yeah.
For the
I
next
got 5
8,
successes.
So for the next 8 minutes, you go to take off, and you are do nothing but focus on if you turn right, you can't really focus on anything else but running.
What do you mean? Wait,
Like
can you
your
elaborate?
focus has narrowed. You're like, I have to chase this guy, right?
Okay.
So you take off running. Now your entire mindset now is running. That's it. The description of the power says this. It essentially puts you in a light trance that lasts 1 minute per success. You become oblivious to your surroundings and the flow of time around them. I am fudging this a little bit so that instead of you just like standing stock still like, I'm not doing anything, he's focusing you on the action that you're doing. So
Okay.
So you take off running, and that's all you're doing is running. You kind of lose
nowhere.
track of La Biena.
Okay, but am I running to nowhere or am running to chase him? Like, how am I running?
You get focused on. I am running after this guy.
Okay.
So you continue to run just for the next 8 minutes. That's all you're doing is running after this guy, no matter what.
Okay, and I got 5. So I don't know.
Yeah, you get 5 successes.
So what's the situation now? What's the situation now?
Is the first catching?
You see him turn a corner.
He turns a corner.
Yeah, he takes off. You take off after him.
Okay.
Ah! And just as you come around, you see him turn a corner. He's turning left around a building.
Okay, he's turning left around the corner. Now I'm focusing only on running. But what about Laviana? Is she?
Well, La Biena
following?
is not affected by this power.
Okay, but is she following me?
La Biena, how many? You got what? 2 successes on this?
Trying to. 2, yeah.
Okay. So
you're still inside, I presume.
1, 2, 3, 4. La Biena, you missed him. You don't see where he went. However, you see Icarus running. So now you're following Icarus.
Yeah.
So he took a corner, and I'm only focused on running, and I can't do anything
else. Right, so you're turning left. You're following him.
Yeah.
Make another roll.
Athletics again?
Yep.
Yeah. And because I'm running, my specialty applies, I presume.
Footwork?
No, athletics specialty running.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I got no success. Wow.
So do I roll again to keep up with them?
And he got no success too. Is it a tie? It's a tie, so do we roll again?
Roll again.
Okay, that's good for me.
Yeah, you guys keep rolling. Damn. Yep. No, you guys, you're gaining on him. You swear, as he's running, he's throwing stuff behind him. Oh, La Biena's falling behind too.
Oh, jeez.
All right. La Biena, you're falling behind, but you're still keeping up. But
Did I
Icarus,
catch
you're
him
gaining on him.
Okay. I want to catch him, and if possible, I want to tackle him from behind, like, sprint, and jump on him, and then like.
Well, yeah, you haven't.
I don't know
yet.
who he is. Yeah, but I will still keep running.
Roll
right?
again.
Yep. So I get 4 success, and he has 3. So I still winning, I presume. By the way, how many minutes passed now?
Not many.
Not many. Okay.
All right. Let's see. He is going to activate this power reflexively as a defensive action. Because you catch him, you're going to go jump on him.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this difficulty 6.
Okay.
And let's see. This is going to be one more. We're going to make this one more. If he succeeds, it gives him another roll to do this. Intelligence plus cult.
Power or running?
the roll he's about to make. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, with 4 successes,
I wonder what he's doing to
he
me
has
right
reduced your speed by 4.
now. Whoa, which power is that?
It doesn't matter. In your eyes, you're running after him, and to your eyes, he explodes forward with a huge burst of speed. Just boom, he's gone.
Can I keep chasing him, or is it like nope?
You can, and you're going to be at -4 dice.
Okay, I boost my stats with the blood then.
Oh shit! I just realised I got $1 celerity.
Okay, if I feel myself slowed down, I'm not going to let this go. So I spend blood to increase my dexterity. So you said I lose 4 dice. So now
each success reduces a target's current speed and any damage dice pools by half. So
by half.
how many dice are you rolling right now? So you're rolling what, 8 dice?
Yeah.
So 4, 2. Yeah, right now you're rolling 1 dice for this.
What?
Yeah.
It reduces for wait. You say
So-
it reduces for half. How?
And he has
Rolling 1
4
dice, it
successes.
reduces
So
by
reduce your 8 by half, then reduce that 4 by half, and then reduce that by half.
What?
So
Which power
1.
is that?
Yeah.
Wait,
Doesn't
can
matter.
you please say
Does
that?
not matter what power it is. It is a book power. And
You know, it's real powerful. I just
it is a real power.
Yep.
Oh.
Fucking true, Bruja.
Yes.
I was going to say, is that temporous?
Yes, it is temporous.
But I can boost my stats, right? Still.
Yep.
And will it change my dice pool, or is it going to drop instantly?
No,
again?
it'll increase by 1 for each dice.
Okay, so I can spend 6 blood. So I roll 4, and if I do that, it will be 6. Okay, I'm going to spend 4 blood to increase my dexterity. It will be 5 dice pool now. I still have my special, and I'm going to spend 1 willpower point to get auto success. So.
Okay.
I wonder if I should do something similar.
So now I roll 5 dice. I will do it manually because really I don't want to do the cheat thing now.
All right.
3.
You botched 2 successes away. So
2 ones.
And it's,
So I might do the same thing. 2.
so are we rolling again?
And this time I'm going to add my $1 in celerity.
No, it's a tie, right? Yeah. 1, 2.
No, he got.
Yeah.
1,
it's a
2,
tie
3.
because I
He
have
got
specialty.
3.
Yeah, and I have specialty, so I got like normally.
And he spent the willpower.
Yeah, so I said I will spend the willpower. So it's a tie.
Okay.
So are we going to roll
the
again?
chase continues. Roll again. He still appears to be speeding far ahead of you, and you are just like, it's just like running through a dream where you just feel so slow that you're struggling to keep up with him.
Yeah. I'm going to spend 2 more blood to increase my dexterity by 2. So I will add 2 dice to my dice pool.
So I got 4 successes.
So let's see. It was 5. It will become 7. So I will roll 7 dice now, and I still have my specialty.
With 4 successes, have I caught up?
No, because you
Or am
were
I
kind of
catching
far
up?
behind, actually. But you are catching up to Icarus for sure.
Let's see. I got 3 success. Oh, he's boosting stats too. Fucking pussy.
He got 5 this time.
Yep.
I'm using celerity again.
Well, I mean, he got powerful disciplines, and but if only if I.
All right. Well, you guys both kind of lose sight of him, and Icarus, you are still focused on well, I saw him going that way. I'm following him that way. So you keep heading, boom, through the alleys.
Mm. How long does this power last, by the way? Like,
You're going to be running for a while.
no,
We should have
doesn't
gone
power.
after her.
The penalty. How
The
long does
penalty's
it
gone.
last?
It lasted for 1 round for each 2 successes. So
Oh, so wait, I
so now
can
you feel
roll.
you speed back up, but he's out. He's
Oh.
gone. He's gone. For the
Really?
narrative flow, he has ducked into an alley or something. You've lost sight of him.
Man, you should give me the chance.
You keep going. Laviana keeps going, and the as Icarus turns the corner, and Laviana, you lose sight of him for just a couple of seconds. The beautiful woman steps in your view, and she is full on right in front of you, where you either have to stop or you have to run over your best friend and sister.
I mean, I could catch him. Why did you take the chance for me?
So what do you do, Laviana? As Icarus is leaving you behind.
Unfortunately, you're cutting out.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's maybe because of like you lean back. Maybe it can be.
It's not me leaning back. My microphone's attached to my face.
No, it changes things there.
It's just Discord.
Yeah.
Discord's stupid.
Yeah. Maybe we should try Skype one day. I don't know.
All right. Change the server again. Is that better?
That's better. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So, Icarus, you guys both lose sight of him for just a moment. Just a moment. He's out of your view. And Icarus turns the corner, and he just keeps on speeding down the street. And as he leaves you behind, because he's far outpacing you, the guy and the girl steps right in your face. Now you have a choice. You can run her over, or you can stop. And remember, she is your devoted sister and best friend.
Given that, obviously, I stop.
Yeah, she stops you, and she's going, what's going on? Why are you? Why is that man chasing us?
Well, you see, we noticed that he had been keeping an eye on us, and we just want to find out why.
Is it a crime now to walk the streets and observe newcomers?
I didn't say that, but
As you look at her and you look at her face, and she makes sure she captures your gaze with her eyes, and she begins to dominate you. And she is
Chris, please.
she's going to attempt to implant a command and then remove this memory from you of you catching up to
I'm
them.
feeling something like this was going to happen.
So I am going to send this to you in a private message, because I would like this to be a surprise to everybody, but I am actually going to make the roll first.
Okay.
So it's the same roll. It's a manipulation leadership to implant the command, and then wit subterfuge to remove it. Now, here's where Dominate gets tricky. They have changed it up a little bit. And I have been running it the way it used to be run, where you could not resist it. However, in V20, they changed the rules a little bit, and I realized I was interpreting it wrong. You may now attempt to resist Dominate. This is reflexive. It must happen. Okay? So after I make my roll, you get to make a manipulation or you get to make a willpower roll of your current willpower, difficulty equal to the vampire's manipulation plus intimidation. There are certain conditions that make this roll easier. However, you do not meet any of these conditions.
Damn.
So I'm going to make my roll first, and your roll is going to be difficulty 8.
By the way, I'm not sure, but I think the condition, the resisting can only happen when the
No, this
target
automatically happens. This automatically
Really?
happens. It must happen
That's interesting.
unless the difficulty is over 10. If it's over 10, you can't
Whoa.
do it. You can't resist
Whoa.
because you can never make the
Whoa,
dice
whoa.
roll. But the difficulty is
Wow.
8.
Wow.
So first, the subjugation roll, manipulation plus leadership, against your, what is your current willpower? Labiana?
The willpower.
Yep. I know
Level.
you spent at least 1.
Yeah. So 4.
Okay, 4. Okay, this definitely takes effect. Make a roll of 4 dice against well,
no
you
way
can't
I
even
can
make it. You only have 4 dice.
defend
You can't
against
make
that.
that many successes. So, all right,
Exactly.
now for the erasure. So, I'm going to roll wits plus subterfuge.
And I can't defend against.
Yes, it automatically defends. You must make this roll. We'll see how it goes.
Depending on the.
Unless she gets more than 4 successes, in which case you can't. She got 4.
Exactly.
You might be able to make it. So roll your willpower of 4 dice at difficulty 8.
Can she spend a willpower point to succeed at
No,
a
she
willpower?
can't do that.
No. Because I'm rolling willpower.
Well, you can spend a willpower and roll willpower.
But then I'd be down to 3 dice, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you will get 1 auto success. That's the thing. So
Spend
Rather
willpower to
keep
bolster your
my dice.
willpower so you can have more willpower.
Exactly. It's just which one would be better. I mean, okay, I'd have one
can-
extra, one
you can-
automatic success, but then I only have 3 other chances to roll successes.
I mean, what? It's only difficult 8. What is the chances of botch?
it's-
I say no.
Yeah. Probably I'm better off
I mean,
spending one
this
for
is
an
the
extra success.
this
An
is
auto
the second
success.
time.
Oh, hang on. So that's exactly what I'll do. I don't know if the rest of this is going to be okay. Testing.
Okay, Labiana,
Oh, rolled a 5.
Did you get that command? Did you get my whisper to you?
Let me read it. I got it. I'm just going to read
That should say
it.
Immediately after sunset. All right.
Ooh, I
Yep.
got that.
So
But
it
yeah,
takes
so-
effect.
So I rolled that wrong anyways.
Yeah. So Labiana, here's what you remember. You don't remember stopping. You remember running through the streets. You lost sight of Icarus. You continued trying to run after him and find him. However, eventually you gave up, and you are returning to the haven. Icarus, after some time, maybe 5 minutes, maybe give or take a little bit. You don't have an exact amount of time. You realize you've been running and running and running, and you're pretty much going to give up. You're not going to find him. So so you are somewhere in the middle of the city. You can't find Labiana. You have apparently lost her. You can't find the guy. You don't know how he got away. So you're like, you know what? I'm gonna have to stop running.
Well, only arm reach, but I feel probably bad. Is there any human nearby?
You're trying to what? Make a hunting roll?
No. I'm making sure there's no human nearby because I'm probably going to take out my anger from an object.
It's late at night and they're in bed. I'll give you, we'll say D100, and I'll say 30% chance. So if I roll under a 30 or under, there's somebody nearby.
Okay.
Nope, there's nobody there.
Yeah, I want to take my anger from something. Not being able to catch this, scared guy.
All right, there's like a small little shop structure near you, a little wooden frame.
I don't know, punch through it or kick it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you
It's just
easily, and you just like smash through one of the poles holding it up, and the frame starts to fall, and you kick it a couple of times and throw it across the narrow street, and it goes clattering against the wall.
Yeah, I will go back. No, if possible, I would like to go back through the ceilings, like parkouring through the ceilings, if possible, if they are that near to each other. To have
This is
a
a
general.
pretty narrow area. Your dexterity dice have not worn off yet, so go ahead and make dexterity athletics rolls at
Okay.
difficulty 8 to parkour through the streets.
Difficulty 8. Okay.
Yep. Well, we're gonna make two. It's gonna be difficulty 8 to reach just difficulty 8, and one is difficulty 6. How about that?
Okay, sure. So I will make 2 rolls.
Yep.
I'm, by the way, doing this to have some general perception of the city streets. Maybe I can catch a glimpse of something. Just. Yep. Probably my specialty does not apply.
You're doing very well.
So now difficulty 6.
Oh, it's like watching martial arts movie. You're jumping across the streets. You hit a couple of trees, and you're just bouncing off the branches and jumping over the fountains and doing flips. Looks super cool doing it. If only somebody was there to see you.
Yeah. I probably does not see them, like the two stranger. I probably don't see them while I parkour.
You make it back to the building, and you realize Lavienna's beaten you back by a couple of minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I will ask. Where have you been? Couldn't find you while chasing the guy. I couldn't see you.
Well, unfortunately, I lost sight of you, so when I realised I couldn't catch up, I decided to come back and wait for you.
Just the tips. When your normal abilities, skills fails you might try increase your power with the blood. It sometimes works fine. There's no shame to do such things.
All right.
So I felt
Go ahead. Keep going.
Some people are not to catch up with us.
I was just unable to keep up.
Okay. No encounters, right?
Say again? Wait a minute.
Are you guys talking?
Dennis was saying something, but
Yeah, I'm trying to switch the server again because it's keeps messing up.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean the woman?
Do we know if she's a woman or not? I presume we just know. We know. You said she's beautiful. You said she's beautiful.
Yeah, unfortunately, we
Yeah,
lost track of her when we started chasing the man, if you recall.
yeah. But then you failed to catch up with us. And did you try to find the woman in that time? Like, or did you just waited?
Well, as far as I know, I searched for a short while, couldn't find her, and gave up and came back.
Okay. Well, next time, I don't know. Try to do better. Then I just go
Think we
inside
could
the room.
both do better. I'm gathering you had no success with the guy. Did you find him?
The other guy, he became really, really fast. Like I never saw before fast in a moment.
So, you mean I'm like supernaturally fast? Or
I mean, even like another level of supernatural fast. Like there's fast, and I am one of those persons who can be fast, but he was another level, an
are
edge.
we talking celerity or something else entirely?
Might be. It might be. I don't know. It might be very proficient at that discipline, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, either case, we found them and they run away from us.
Yeah.
This means they are either weak or they don't trust themselves.
Well, at least we know that someone is keeping an eye on us. Now we just need to find out why.
Or we can just go to the prince and explain the situation. I am sure he will be interested in hearing this two guy trying to spy us.
We can certainly do that. However, we have to bear in mind that we don't have any equivocal proof.
We don't need one. I presume the prince can use some powers to make sure we are not lying. It's in the capabilities of vampires. Oh my heart. Oh my throat. Oh.
Yeah, as long as they have that capability.
I like to think that Paul's within character the out my throat bit.
Sorry?
All right.
Like,
As you guys are discussing this, Nicodemus, Albina, and Hatshepsut return to the room, the negotiations having ended for the night.
Before we return, would Albina be able to mention to the prince about the idea of getting a celebration together with the Carthaginians to try to ease the tensions between the two groups and the
Sure.
show of you?
Absolutely.
So yeah, she's going to talk to the prince about it. Mention that his school mentioned about talking to him, that he might be able to assist in this, putting that together, finding a venue for it.
oh
he
fuck!
he says he'll think about it.
Out of character, I just realised if we manage to convince him to throw the celebration, that's a perfect opportunity for Nicodemus to put on Pariah's caress.
No shit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been thinking about it.
Well, how did the negotiation went?
Good and bad.
What do you mean by good and bad?
Well, there were some positives and there were some negatives. I think there is some progress, but to say that we're succeeding exemplary that's wishful thinking so far.
I understand. Well, we made some progress too. This two guy we're stalking us, trying to chase us. Then we catch them and outmaneuvered them. But then they figured us and saw us. So there was some chase. In the end, the man ran away, fled. The woman, this beautiful woman, well, she went some other path that we did not decided to follow. Either case, one of them is very good at running away, and both of them seems a little bit too scared to not face with us in the night inside the street, on the street.
The woman incidentally appeared particularly captivating.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was just saying, the woman incidentally was particularly captivating.
Really now?
It wasn't so for me. But either case.
Okay, let me indulge me here. Describe precisely how you felt seeing her.
I felt like I, really knew her, and that I was just really devoted to her.
It wasn't erased. This particular feeling. It wasn't
No,
erased?
she only erased the second part of the encounter.
Okay.
But so out of character, is this enough to think that maybe? So it sounds like this woman had presence.
It might be. I mean, it's not the rarest thing. But
It is
then
possible.
again, how clear the outlook did we get out of them? Like, how much did we see clearly about their outlook? Can we describe it?
Not really. No, you guys didn't get real good views of them. You can give a general, very, very general description.
Okay, height?
Height, general like hair characteristics, skin color. Not much more than that.
Yeah, I will just share it just in case. So it's probably not. I have a question. This power that I do not know inside the game that's used on me.
You would have essentially explained it as celerity.
Okay, so I feel like he gets faster, not me getting slower, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You might have noticed it the other way around if there was anyone else around you.
But that's it. There was.
But do I know that my focus?
He would explain it as celerity. It was like he put on celerity.
Yeah, and am I aware of this? The other power that's used on me, the focusing on the running.
No, you are not. That's very. Okay. It's number one. It's very subtle, and number two, temporis is a very secret discipline.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, not the name of the discipline, but the powers work.
It's a very, very subtle effect. Very subtle.
Okay. Yeah. So I just share any information I can and just that's it.
So what about this description of presence? Would Nicodemus make a connection that it is in fact a power of presence that just feels sudden devotion? He has felt that. Something like that once before.
It's a reasonable assumption. They have said that these people are either Bruja or Ventru. Both clans both have presence in clan. Mm-hmm. And you have been around presence users for a while. So it's a reasonable assumption that she was hit with presence.
Nicodemus has been subjected to this particular power, in fact from the same person.
Yeah, so has Albina.
I was going to say probably Laviena has too.
You actually were not part of the first time we encountered her. So, but now you have.
The first time Laviena encountered, that wasn't a presence power that was being used.
Yeah, it was.
I was going to say.
Well, no, actually, no, it wasn't.
But very first time, that was Daimoinen.
Yeah, that was Dominate and Daimoinen. So.
Okay. So not the same person then, or is it the same person?
She completely removed the memory of your first encounter. You do not remember her at all.
But I'm asking out of character.
Yeah. That was the same person doing that.
Lavian doesn't know that. Albion doesn't even know the first encounter even happened.
So, Labiena, because your sudden devotion and your feelings towards this person, I think it's enough of a cause of alarm. Do you remember anything else? Have you interacted with her? Can you figure out any change in how you feel right now or right after this encounter?
Not that I can recall. Just obviously out of character. I'm not sure how long that presence would have lasted for.
She got enough successes that it lasts until sunrise.
So I'm still under the effect.
So do you really want to get your sister in trouble?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I felt like she should still be devoted. It's like
she is until sunrise, and then power fades.
She means It's like I didn't see her for a brief period. Well, I didn't. I wasn't around her for very long, but she means everything to me. That's just how I feel. She's just that captivating.
So she was this captivating, but she made no effort to connect with you, to share a thought, to share. That's strange. Don't you believe?
She didn't need to.
Why?
Obviously, she's just very good at what she's just very good at it. Very good at
Which means she should have capitalized on.
So, Labina, how do you feel with the fact that these feelings you have now are probably not real? That they don't come from you, but they are enforced upon you from your dear friend?
I don't know what you mean. They are very real to me. She. I guess I don't know how I should feel about that, but I have no ill will towards her, if that's what you mean.
But you had not these feelings before this night, and suddenly they awaken in you. In fact, you haven't probably seen her before this encounter.
Oh no. As I said, I saw her if only for a brief moment. But like I said, obviously she's just that captivating.
That captivating,
and you're absolutely certain that she didn't actually speak to you at all. You just saw her.
I just saw her, and
and then
I immediately connected with her.
And she just ran away after establishing that.
That's all I remember.
Okay, so out of character. I perfectly understand if you just deny this, but possibility of putting the dots together that maybe something's going on here.
Yeah, no way. As far as anybody is remembers or is aware, they took off running.
So yeah, no way to.
They pretty much just wanted to avoid. The easy answer here is that they tried to avoid a physical confrontation.
Okay.
Yep. It will be tense.
So
assuming that we were going to give them.
Would any of us, in fact, know about the mind, the memory erasing thing of the dominate that Ventrue have?
Albina would.
Like
She has
any way
that
of
in clan.
detecting it.
But I do not have that ability myself yet.
Yeah,
I do
correct.
not have my.
Right. So you have no way of counteracting the effect.
Well, counteracting, but I'm asking about knowledge of it.
I mean, Albana.
Being able to detect it.
Okay.
Whether it
None of you guys have the ability to detect it. You have the knowledge that Venture can do this.
So we can.
Yeah. Everybody except Icarus pretty much has been around the Venture long enough to know that the Venture have dominate and they can do this.
But there isn't enough stuff going together to put together that it might have been used here. I
Correct.
understand. Okay, just if there was a chance for one to take it.
I mean, if you want to be, if somebody wants to take the derangement paranoid, then yeah, I'll let you do it.
Let's see. So wait. So you guys just talk with Labiana about if trying to detect if she got affected by presence, right? This all talk was about it.
Yeah.
Worst, we're trying to figure out what she was done to exactly, because the fact that she was infected by presence is almost guaranteed, but we're worried that she might have been affected by something else.
Well, there's there's many assumptions we can make, and making assumptions would not end. We can even feed final death while making assumptions. So let's stop talking and take actions.
Okay, here's an action for you, Icarus. You're a man of security and conviction.
Wow,
how would you portray? How would you put? How would you consider yourself in a situation if I were to suggest that Labiana may be coerced in some way to do harm against us, to do us harm?
Well, I will stop it. That's enough. That's the answer. I will stop it. Simple and straightforward.
I'm not absolutely certain I would remember if I'd been. Well, I certainly don't recall anyone objecting to anything kind of thing.
Labiana has not been part of the negotiations. Perhaps maybe better to keep it that way. No, she looks over to it. No offense, but if there is someone has given you some form of mind control, there is still telling what might happen.
Well, I don't have much knowledge, but this is the second time she is not remembering anything. I mean, she said this, Labiana, you said this after you came to us with a very sad mood too, if you remember. So it's the second time now. I mean, I have no knowledge about this, but I'm not also believing this is something normal too. That a kindred not remembering a huge chunk of something.
It's not that she doesn't remember; it's that in her mind it never happened.
Yeah.
Basically, it's been passed over with something else.
To her, there is no missing time. She tried to find her. She gave up. That's it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's all she knows.
Okay. Yeah. Well, either case, there's nothing much to discuss. I say we should take a nap and go to the next. Well, you guys go to the next negotiation more fresh.
Something about this doesn't feel.
Don't spend much time on it, my friend.
What? How many hours till dawn?
Probably 2.
What's the sky like?
At worst, it's cloudy. Let's find out. It is beautiful outside. Absolutely gorgeous.
Cloudy.
Cloudless. Nothing. Perfect.
not clear enough to make an
No, this is perfect weather. This is perfect for it.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
In that case, and then it's I believe it's something Hearth Wisdom to cast the scope.
Yeah.
Then
Intelligence plus
something
Earth Wisdom, and then you're going to make a theology roll to interpret it, right?
I thought it was Enigmas, but it doesn't matter. Same dice pool.
No, you know what? It's literally, I think it's just the one roll of Earth Wisdom, cast the horoscope. Yeah, it's just the one roll, if I remember right. I'll forget.
He's choosing
Whatever.
the power.
We're going to simplify this.
But
difficulty 6, I think.
Yes, 6. Don't worry. This is not a power or discipline. So Hatshepsut goes to the a clear area where she can see the sky, and she spends about an hour casting a horoscope, observing the stars, watching them wheel above her, and she comes back with a chalk slate full of notes, and she begins to interpret. What is the question that you are trying to find out? What are you asking? What's your question?
Basically, to don't throw me off, Icarus. Basically, first thing of if we continue on the first one. If we continue on the path we're currently on, what will the result be? Good or ill?
It's not so much good in terms. Okay, define good and ill.
Our current path, the current path we're on, will it bring ruin to Rome, or will it bring success to Rome?
You are on a successful path so far.
And can I get any more questions, or is it just one?
Oracular ability. That's a lot of successes, so let me look that merit up real quick and see if it says anything in particular. Let's see. Storyteller give vague impressions. Studying the omen to gain. Oh, okay. Studying the omen further to gain more relevant information requires time to think and an intelligence plus enigmas. That's what it was. Intelligence plus enigmas. The workings of fate so far have revealed that you are on the correct path to success for Rome. So make an intelligence plus enigmas roll, and I'll let you know how many questions you can ask after this.
God damn.
Hey, ask 2 more.
Nice.
You can ask 2 more.
A vague sign of what of. So obviously the answer to this, if it's answered at all, will be very clear of what kind of subject topic we need to broach tomorrow for to get to bring greater success in this task.
Loyalty.
I see. And final question. If we were to bring up tonight's encounter to the prince, would that be ill, or would that hinder or aid our efforts?
Hinder.
Okay. There we go then.
Chris, is it too late to ask about sense cycle roll for against Acreon, or do you want me to wait for the beginning of the next night? Nicodemus would do it at the end of the meeting.
At the end of the meeting. Yeah, you can go ahead and make that roll now.
Okay.
So while the time is here, I would like to ask something. So here's the thing. From what I understand, am I going to should I declare I am spending willpower point to resist presence before scene starts to become immune to it for the rest of the scene, or am I going to declare it after the effects?
Okay.
Because it says you are immune.
Only the power of all renders you immune once you have reached a number of willpower expenditures that they have rolled successes. That's only all. Every other presence power requires you to spend a willpower point and then roll at difficulty 8 your remaining willpower, so long as you remain in their presence. Once you leave their presence, you no longer have to roll to resist.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, Nicodemus, 1 success of sense cycle. May glean omens and visions of the person in question. Each success allows the player to ask storyteller a question regarding the target, such as your public identity and role in society, if they are hostile or could become so, or one psychological weakness he possesses. Psychological weakness. I really don't want to give you the obvious one of Bruise Your Rage.
Mm-hmm. That one I know.
Right. Let's see. He very wholeheartedly believes in the Carthaginian cause. If you were to make that a personal attack, that would be a psychological weakness.
And the road to Bruja Frenzy. Mm-hmm.
Possibly. He would probably end up spending willpower to resist it, but yes, that would be a... that is a route that is at least going to provoke a roll. If you get nasty enough with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys have spent the rest of the night discussing possibilities amongst yourselves. Hatshepsut cast a horoscope and has told you guys and interpreted the what she has seen as the omens of the gods, what they have revealed to her that she saw in the stars. So, the sun sets, or the sun rises, I mean. Everyone enters their day sleep. The city goes through its daytime cycle. People, again, get up and begin to live their lives while you slumber through the day. The sun sets. As usual, Albina wakes up a few minutes before everyone else. She's up and ready.
She just
So you wait, as you usually do. Normally you don't take too much advantage of it. Everyone else wakes up. Everyone spends a point of blood. Remember, no one gains willpower back.
Isn't it? Wait, wasn't it for the negotiation? Like whoever makes the
That's
negotiation,
everybody.
they don't gain.
It's this is an incredibly tense scenario you're in. Very a lot of psychological pressure for everybody. Even Icarus, who's not directly involved, you're picking up on the pressure from your coterie. So it's kind of it's affecting you even though you're not a negotiator. You're not directly involved.
Sure.
Right. So everyone wakes up. You get up. You stretch. You pop your joints. If you're a human, you're getting your coffee. Whatever the case may be.
Cup of blood, yeah.
Yep.
Cup of hot blood.
So who has something they are doing before Molino comes back?
I hunt.
Okay. Icarus takes off to go hunt. Icarus, make your hunting roll at difficulty 7, please. That includes your.
Wow. I would like to make another one. By the way, I didn't join the negotiation 2 times. Probably they should expect me to not join the future.
That's fine.
We're not waiting for stragglers either. No more etiquette breaches.
All right.
Can I make another roll?
Yes, the second roll will be at difficulty 8.
Okay.
All right, so that is 6 points of blood that you can get back without putting anyone in danger.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have something they're doing before Molino comes back?
Yeah. I do actually want to go out and do something.
Okay. Labiana, you leave the area, leave the building, and you travel to where?
Just somewhere that's open, populated.
Okay. You travel near the front gate. There's still a lot of people there putting stuff away. It's very, I won't say very crowded, but it's crowded enough to be populated. And it's open. There's a big square there, so there's plenty of room.
Okay.
Is anybody while I'm hunting? Like after
And Discord is really messed up. I'm gonna swap servers again here in a second.
Okay.
Discord being Discord.
Yep.
I'm.
All right. Anybody hear us?
Ooh. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and try Labiana.
All right. So Labiana now wants to invoke a public death curse on the patrician families of the city.
Okay. As you begin to
I don't
go
know
through the
what this is.
rituals, calling on the spirits of death, dissipator, people are stopping and staring at you in shock.
What the Oh God.
Wait, out of character, what did she do? Because I am literally have no knowledge
Labiana,
about
would
this.
you
I
care
don't
to
feel
explain?
anything.
Well, apparently during their encounter the day before, that thing that she was made to forget in place, that memory that was, as you could say, wiped over with something else, was a command by the Ventru to go into a populated place and invoke a public death curse on the patrician families.
Such powers, so she knew it.
It's not actually like a supernatural thing, I don't think. It's
No, there's
just
no
like
supernatural power behind this. It's literally a. She started invoking the powers of the gods and began, the gods look upon this with disfavor. May they all die. May their children die, and so on, right?
Oh, she's like acting, literally like a religious guy.
Like I said, there's no supernatural force behind this, but this is going to get attention.
Yeah.
I probably don't
Unwanted
know.
attention, I think is the whole idea behind this.
Yeah.
I also asked if I would like to see if somebody's like following, stalking me too, because I mean it's like second time, so I'm probably going to check it every
Okay.
time I go outside.
I'm not going to make you roll. You know what? I will. Roll perception alertness, difficulty 6.
Okay.
Because I want to see if you botch and fall in the water.
Ha!
Okay. Nope, you're
Watch to
fine.
you.
Nobody's following you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So people are panicking. They're getting to cry. Word is spreading like fire through the city about this.
So did the word came to us?
Not quite yet. It's not quite that fast.
Okay. Then we can't do anything. we can't do anything.
Yeah, Laviana, nobody bothers you. You finish up the death curse, and then what?
Well, in all fairness, Laviana needs to feed as well.
There's a crowd around you, and they are all crying and begging you to stop. And why? Why would you curse our city? What's wrong with you? What did we do to you? People are like literally. There's tears running down their faces. People are on the ground begging you to stop. There's a good crowd around you.
I'm also guessing now that she has stopped, she's unaware of what she's just done.
No, you're very aware of what you did. You just don't know why you did it. You just got the urge to go do it, so you did.
Obviously, Labiana is standing in confusion, going, why the hell did I just do that?
Why did you?
So obviously, she's going to be trying to. She's looking around at the people, going, I don't know why I did what I did. It's as if, it was somebody else doing it.
Make a
And not
charisma
me.
plus subterfuge roll, and due to your clan weakness and your eerie presence, I believe that's going to be difficulty 9.
Wait, it's just a prank bro work in those times too? Like can she be like, yo man, I was joking, man. Something like
Technically,
that.
she's not lying. She doesn't understand why she did what she did.
Well, you did it, and the prince won't care it if you did it with intention or not.
But what was the role though?
Charisma plus subterfuge.
And what you have? How many penalties because of now the flaws and the plant weakness and all that?
Only penalties to the difficulty.
I believe this has raised difficulty to 9 due to the penalties.
Yeah. And I only get 3 dice for, anyways. Charisma plus subterfuge.
I'm sure you're not going to botch.
I'll most likely fail.
Let us hope.
I'll use
I mean,
those.
can't use our willpower.
Yep, but
I've
you
got
cannot
3
regain
left.
it. And you cannot regain it, so choose careful if you want to.
You can always you can always focus your days into fulfilling your nature. That would help you.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, does that help, Chris? Do you allow the nature completing nature to give willpower point? Do you allow it?
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, you normally have to call my attention to that because I don't have all of your natures memorized off the top of my head.
I remember I managed to invoke it once in the past with Lucius.
But I mean, if I do spend a willpower, I'll only have 2 left going forward. I'm going to see how I go without it.
Oh boy.
Oh, when does the Olympics start? When does the Olympics start? By the way, do we know?
Let's just do this.
Well,
Yeah,
That's
you you start making a passionate plea to the crowd, and a stone flies through the air and hits you in the head, and people are starting to get angry and pick stuff up.
Well, looks like I'm
Right.
gonna have to run back to the haven. Back to the
Not the
building.
Haven.
Yeah, you
And she runs back the whole way going, I don't understand, I don't understand.
a couple people get you with some pieces of fruit and
Shit.
some stinky mounds of dung and things like that. So you're the common weapons of the people against nasty politicians. And as you're running through the streets and they're throwing stuff at you and you're dipping and ducking and weaving, and you finally leave the worst of the crowd behind, and you make it back to the haven. I'll give you a 50% chance that it's been less than an hour. Let me roll that. Would you like high or low?
Low.
No. It is.
Wow.
Okay, would you like it to be before or after the Prince's School shows up? Your choice. Before or after?
After?
Okay.
I don't know what it's before or after.
The Prince's School, Molino, before she arrives.
Oh, before, then I suppose.
No. So before. Okay. You arrive maybe 5 minutes before she normally shows up. You're stinking to high heaven. Just, if it was a cartoon, the wavy stink lines would be coming off of you. And, yeah, so you sprint up the stairs and you make it back to the room. Icarus is still out hunting. So, but everybody else is there.
What the fuck happened?
Hide me, hide me.
What did you do?
I perform a
On how many?
for, as you can see, they explain.
Oh.
Let me switch servers again. It's... I don't know why Discord is being so bad tonight.
It's always bad. It's Discord.
As I said before.
Anything, guys?
Yeah, she's asking her how this death curse works. She's asking
She's asking, what's the question?
To understand it myself, yeah. But it's basically just a public.
You might want to type that out for me.
He wants them dead, I guess. The family. That they will all die. I don't understand why I felt so compelled to do such a thing.
We discussed it last night, and we've been so focused on the next day and not getting late that it slipped past our attention.
the first order of business then should be to make amends on this.
Yeah, let's not hide it.
Nicodemus, do you think you could take over the negotiations for today. I could try and calm down the crowds.
Okay.
Well, you can try it. Maybe you can make it before Milno shows up. Melino.
I'm going to go get cleaned up.
Here's a question: was in the minds of the people, was anything she said, able to be connected back to Rome?
No, but it will. The thing here is that such a public display of a death curse and such a public act will very swiftly make it back to Philistin, and he will immediately put 2 and 2 together, and you can guess what's going to happen there.
Or let's make an assumption.
I'm just gonna say, okay. Can we figure out at this point that Labian was dominated? At this point.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say that's a safe bet that you.
We have no proof though.
Yeah, there's no way to prove it, but you can definitely you know what, this she was probably dominated into doing this.
But
I mean, the argument is why would in her position, in our position, any of us go and make a public death curse? That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Well, they can spin this a couple ways. They can spin it that this is your guy's true face.
Or they can say something like that we did this so that the prince can believe us that we are actually all of this was scripted, we will do this and then prince will call us and we will say to prince, why would we do that? It's different to them doing this. Yeah. Why won't you push them? I can't say that.
Would there be any way to prove it?
But here's the thing, prince can have abilities to know the truth, so just say the truth, just go full true and
in fact once Melino arrives, we immediately come.
And if we want to just make it, if we want to guarantee that he'll at least hear us out, we can always try and offer one of our own heads as a potential forfeit. If it turns out if it turns out we were lying, so basically maybe say so if it turns out that we're lying, I will submit my own head to your justice.
Would aura perception reveal anything, or the equivalent thereof? I'm too used to the V20 version of it.
Okay, well, as you guys are discussing this, you hear the familiar. It's getting to be somewhat familiar. The clomp clomp of her wooden sandals as she comes down the hallway, and there's a knock at your door, and Melino is standing there.
I go open the door for her.
Right. Are you guys ready to go?
Melino?
Yes?
Chris, are you hearing us?
We briefly
playing tricks again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now.
So Melino comes in. Are you ready to go?
Yes. Have you heard about the incident?
No, what incident? What's going on?
You're breaking up again.
Cutting out again.
Shoot.
Time.
Let's try Hong Kong server. How is that? Anybody?
So far it's working. So far it's working. Even though if it's in Hong Kong, it probably shouldn't, because I'm pretty sure we're all Westish. So.
Well, I've been bouncing around United States servers, so I said, hell with it. Let's try something different.
Maybe you should try the UK. I don't know if there is. I mean,
Right. Anyways, Melino's standing there. No, I have not heard what's happened.
There has been an incident.
Speaking bluntly and without attempts to hide, I believe that my friend here, and I'll motion to Loya, has been compromised and potentially manipulated by the Carthaginians. And if it is found the timeline,
Hold on. Please, no accusations for now. Let's deal with the facts. Our friend has, against her will, made a public statement of a death curse, and we are worried that it may have aroused some people. We're relaying this so that if you have in your influence, you can deal with the situation while the negotiations conduct, and we explain everything to your master.
Well, I assume you have proof it was against her will. Wait. I stopped myself. I overstepped myself. My master would like to see such proof if you were to say such a thing.
We understand.
Allow me to escort you to his chambers, and you may make your statement to him. So she, who all is going?
Icarus, please guard Labiena and do not let anyone come near her.
well, I'm going to do that, but I'm not a guard. I'm not a bodyguard.
Please do it as a favor for us.
Icarus is not there at the moment.
Oh, I'm not? Okay. Yeah, I'm hunting. Woohoo!
What to do with your Labiena? She shouldn't be...
Chain me up.
Actually, if this is
I
a
cannot afford to let myself get into this situation again. Chain me up.
In fact, we should probably bring her with us as a token that we're not hiding anything, and for the prince to dispense justice.
As you wish.
I do not want to do.
Let us be off then. Sure, you know my master does not like to be kept waiting.
Of course.
So she escorts, I assume, all four of you to the chambers. Once again, just as you get up there, Acreon is also arriving. So he arrived only a moment before you did. So you actually see him go in, and somebody else has brought him there. And then that person leaves, and then you walk up. So Philistin is standing, Acreon is standing. He has just taken his place at the table. And then you guys walk in, and Melino announces you to the assembly. The personages from Rome are here to see you, Master. And then she allows you to walk in. Guys?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Courtesy to Chicotes. There's matters that he'd like to discuss with you.
Yes, there's some urgent business that needs to before the planned negotiations.
Philistin looks at Labiena, and his nose wrinkles up at her perfume. And Acreon is actually taken a little bit by surprise here. He's not sure, by the look on his face, he doesn't know what to make of this. So Philistin sits down and he says, by all means, speak.
Have you perhaps heard of the incident that happened earlier this night?
in the it was town square, right? Out of character.
Yeah, near the front gate.
Have you, by chance, heard of the incident that occurred near the front gate?
Vienna is, of course, looking quite distraught at the moment.
No, but if it has anything to do with your companion, I'm sure I will soon.
Okay. Early this morning, shortly after waking up, Barbiana felt compelled to walk out to the front gate and begin proclaiming a death curse upon the populace. I believe acting under her own volition, and well, I won't make full accusations yet. It could be a third party. I won't pretend to. But regardless, I felt like this is something that you should know about and needs to be dealt with.
She speaks that the night before, she was approached by a beautiful woman.
Gave reports of feelings only seeing her that indicate the usage of presence.
They're both politely waiting on you to continue.
I believe that I will not, in the interests of fairness, I will not cast any suspicions on precisely who this woman was. While overtly she's saying that there's a subtext of, I think there is a subtext of, I think it was a car.
There's pretty good double talk there, yeah.
That after and trying to approach them and figure what it was all about, used gifts of the blood to emotionally manipulate my companion, and then later erase all memory of the event.
The Philistine looks at you. Do you have anything more to add?
Just one thing. If it is found that I am saying this in bad faith, I willingly submit my own life as forfeit to your justice.
As do I.
It's a very impassive face with the... Oh, I'm sorry, Nicodemus, go ahead.
As we all by this, for we no harm on people of Locri, and we seek the resolution of the situation within your decree.
And he looks at Albina.
She nods. I have no. Labiana has never showed herself to be this. I do not believe she would do such a thing, as it would sabotage. It's sabotage, not just our efforts, but also your city. Always showed itself as to be a great loyal ally of Rome.
I see.
So yes.
I see that you are aware of the seriousness of these accusations. I will need time to think and to discuss with your Carthaginian colleagues.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
These are very serious, and you are aware of how serious they are, so I will need time to think and discuss this with your Carthaginian colleagues. Perhaps
If I
tonight
may
is a
ask,
bad night to negotiate.
if I may ask, and she speaks about a woman, but I have not seen any of the other Carthaginian diplomats. Perhaps if she had to have a chance to look at them, she might be able to recognize her. And we are all made fully aware of what members are in each of our diplomatic expeditions, would be able to avoid any future unfortunate encounters like. As it stands, we barely know who each other.
Acreon has remained standing, and he hits the table. Now, I have heard you speak ill of my colleagues. You have done all but imply that they have broken the rules, or you have implied and done all but outright accuse us of breaking the rules of propriety here. You seek an excuse to delay the negotiations, knowing they go against you. And he looks to the Philistine. He says, "And now look, they use a public spectacle in some convoluted delay that would be possibly thought up by their Ventru patron that they were so proud to brag about. You are a broodmate of the Ventru. You know how duplicitous they can be and how well they manipulate emotions. Come now. Tell me that you don't see what's going on here." He speaks over you. He speaks over you. He is completely ignoring you, speaking over you, even as you voice your objections. Come on, my lord. It's such a obvious ploy to cast doubt on our intentions cannot go unnoticed or unpunished. Send them back to their room so we may discuss this like true Canaanites and logical, reasonable creatures that we are, who both wanted a good outcome.
Do you praise Prince? After he says for him to send us back to our room. Abner speaks over him, asking if he presumes to command the prince. Do you presume to have authority over him? Do you already consider yourselves the masters of this city?
Acreon smirks. He knows he's got you in a corner. And the prince speaks up and he says, in a very calming voice, "I believe that's enough out of everyone. Such a situation cannot be talked about when tempers are heated. I will send everyone back to their rooms, and I will investigate and take this news and think about it. Return to your chambers and do not leave them."
At once, my prince. At once.
Yes.
She steps back to head to the and wait for the other.
Did I arrive? I mean, what am I doing?
You guys all make it back to the chambers. Icarus, you're back now. Everybody's back in the chamber.
So, anyway, do I see all sad faces when I arrive? I'm like,
it's not.
all afraid.
I can't speak for the others, but for her, it's not sad. It's angry. Very, very angry.
I was gonna say, I presume 3 of them are rather angry and 1 is rather sad and distraught.
Labiena's outward expression pretty much depicts how we all feel inside.
So when I open the door to the room, I'm like looking at you guys, and there's like a very curious face on me, eyes open wide. What happened, friends? What's your outlook? This is unexpected.
We got played like children. Basic
Did you?
tools, but they were executed flawlessly.
How did that
We got
happen?
carried away. What's
How
with
did-
you? You two just had to toss in accusations. Come on, I said no accusations, but you thought you could just double tuck your way into with those big folks.
Hey,
Shut
calm
up.
your ass down. Calm your ass down. Okay? Relax. We are not the enemy.
Yes, you're right. I apologize.
Yeah. Now,
But
which
even
one
if he
of you
didn't
fucked?
know that, but even if Acreon didn't really know about it, he played it well into his advantage.
Well, you see, there is no help in discussing the past. Look at your future and current time. What are you going to do? I have no knowledge of this problem, so I can't help you not now.
Well,
Perhaps
the thing is
both.
that in this current situation, the only thing that saves us from it getting worse is that we basically are betting our own unlies onto the truthfulness of our words, but then we've basically disarmed ourselves with anything that could make the Carthaginians be hurt by this whole thing. At the very best outcome for us is that it will become null and void,
Well,
because what sense would it make for
wait.
us to do all this ploy?
Are you going to give up now?
No,
Good.
I said that I think the prince is reasonable, but
Yes.
we shouldn't really pursue to prove anything that they tried to fuck up with us.
And I'll
Well-
submit to any and all punishments they may seek to impart upon me, even though,
Well, I can suggest
because it
much,
would
but
appear to them that I did these things.
well,
So,
it doesn't matter if you did it intentionally or not. What's matter now that we should stick together and watch our backs. Being close is the best we can do at this stage. Try to relax. When you're calm, you can think better. Don't make the anger and the stress take you away from thinking rationally.
submit to the beast,
What?
because the beast does nothing except seek to destroy.
Are you reading a poem?
No,
Huh. Okay.
I'm just stating a fact.
You guys talk for a couple hours,
And
and the door opens, and it's the ghoul Melino, and she
Oh,
looks
welcome.
harried. Is the word? And she opens
Are
the
you
door,
okay?
and she slips in, and then she closes the door real quick. And she looks at all you guys, and she starts going, Get your stuff ready. Get everything put together now, quickly, as quick as you can. We have to get you out of
Okay.
here."
I have my stuff on me. I don't need to get anything.
why? Labiana asks.
"My master believes you, but his hand has been forced. The people have turned against the Romans. We are at this very moment sending people to sneak the garrison out. The convoy, the envoy diplomatic flag is not safe for you in the city. We will sneak you out with them, and it will get you through the blockade, and you can make land north of the city and then return with all haste to Rome."
Okay
So
then.
there's
Well,
nothing we can do then.
by the way, out of character,
but-
I think this is. Wait, please. Sorry, but I believe this is a good time for Head to just like use his ritual to just quickly, bless my weapon. I mean,
Would I be able to do an empathy roll on her, see if she's telling the truth or if this is some form of test?
No, go right ahead.
Perception and empathy?
Yeah, you're gonna read her body language, perception, empathy.
I should have asked before if anyone in the room had, like I said, that aura perception and used it on Laviena to get her current emotional state.
Okay. What you read in her body language is very serious concern and worry, and you have in the last couple of days that you've known her, everything she has done has been at the behest of her master. So take that as you will.
She's a blood bonded ghoul too, so. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready. Let's go.
As you guys are
I
standing
don't
there
have
looking
much
at her,
panic.
she's like, "Come on, let's go, let's go."
Very
Yeah, lead the
well.
way. I'm coming.
Maybe more presence
I just
happening.
follow. I just
Can I
follow.
just
I'm
say
trusting.
something to? Can I just say something to her because I've been trying for a while now?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We thank you for your assistance, Melina. But just tell me one more thing. How do you know if it has been coming all the way, and this whole curse thing was just been a final stroke, or was it really the one that amplified it?
I believe my master was torn between both of your camps. However, while the Carthaginians had the edge given the offer they made him, I don't think. I think you could have pulled it off if you kept doing what you were doing.
So we failed then. Very well. If our paths cross with your master, if there is any possibility to help your master, we'd be happy to in the future. But for now, I guess this is goodbye.
You, your master, and you will be do fine with the city. As it stands, everything that you said is honest. We do not expect them to be the Carthaginians to be kind masters. Will you and your master be fine under this?
Oh yes, of course. Our master is trying to get all of you guys out safely, and he'll be able to accept their offer and use his influence. But the outcome is all but certain right now. So,
Is there anything, a word or a letter or something that your master or you would like us to pass on to Rome?
no, simply make sure they know that we helped get the garrison out safely. It was all we could do to get you and the garrison out.
We will make sure that they know about the loyalty displayed by not just you and your master, but by also all the other servants.
We thank you. Now, if we're ready, and she's looking around, or if everyone's ready, let's get you out of here.
Let's go. Relax, woman. Nothing will happen.
I was willing to allow myself to be punished, so to speak, to at least show them that I had no intention of doing what I did. But if that's not going to help matters, I guess then we have no choice but to run.
Did we get the name out of character? Did we get the name of all the Carthaginian diplomats? Names?
They said it once.
With it.
At the when in game would be 3 nights ago. They said it once.
Alertness roll to see if I remember them.
Yep,
because
intelligence plus alertness.
Oh, I have 5 in intelligence.
Nicodemus remembers.
They do not know what we have been up to. Jesus.
Alright, Hashipsit for sure remembers. Albana remembers at least 2 of them.
Hat is dedicating all 3 of those names to memory.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the city.
Find you and gonna kill you.
Well, the first thing is saving your ass. Then you can kill anybody you want.
Oh yes, revenge is a dish best served cold.
All right, from here on in,
Yep.
shh. She puts her fingers up. She opens the door and slips out, and hopefully you guys are all following.
Yeah.
Cynical?
Yeah.
I guess we don't have a
Nah,
choice.
not so much stealth, just not drawing attention.
Yeah. Well, good thing I don't need stuff to carry.
You guys get down to the harbor, and there's a ship waiting,
Ooh.
and it's flying the Roman flag and the diplomatic envoy flag. You guys get on, and the ship's the rowers begin to row it out of port.
Ooh.
There's a very young man, about 18 years old, who is wearing the stripes of what would be the garrison commander, basically. And the exact rank escapes me, but for an 18-year-old to have this kind of rank is unusual. And there's about 24 soldiers there.
Do you know how big the garrison is supposed to be?
That's usual. Somewhere between 24 and 40 people is not unusual. Especially given Rome's manpower shortage. That they're sucking all their manpower away to fight other wars. Having a garrison on the smaller side is not surprising.
Okay.
And this man is giving Albina a weird look.
Can I use my power, level 1 power to see if he has Vita inside his body?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and make your roll.
Yep, let me make it. But I have to check the rules for it.
Yep. So while he's doing that, yeah, he's giving Albina a weird look.
Can I do an empathy roll to see if I can get what's the reason for that?
Okay, let me put it this way. His body language is not aggressive.
Yeah, but then I try to get a feeling like, what is his body language? I say disgust, desire,
No,
fear.
it's more like it's none of that. It's not emotional. It's like he's looking at you and thinking really hard. Like curiosity.
Okay.
Icarus, stamina 4, 10 points of blood in his body.
Wait, is it Vita or blood? Normal blood. Okay.
He has 0 points of vitae in his body.
Okay. Yep. Well, I mean,
So
I
as you
probably
guys
don't know.
It's rowing away, and like I said, he's giving Albina this weird look, and he walks up to you, and he says, "I'm sorry. Do I know you? I feel like I've met you before."
Do I recognize him?
No, you've never seen him in your life.
Maybe another life. What is your name?
Lucas Parthai. And you recognize that last name for certain. You did very bad things to his father many, many years ago.
Yes. She says to her head, "No, though I heard about your father. He is a senator, correct?"
He was a senator. He raised me in
What
Capua.
happened? What happened?
Well, to hear him tell it, a demon sent from the depths of hell, the depths of Tartarus, emerged from the earth and forced him to walk barefoot through the streets of Rome, which destroyed his legs and almost killed me.
Dear gods.
And he describes it just like he describes the demon to look just like you.
Dear gods. Demon Samson, has the priest been called to your been called and consecrated the areas? purify the area?
Oh, yes, that happened back in Rome. I'm far too young to remember what happened. But he has described the demon to me many times, and his description matches you perfectly. Even down to the cold aura of cold that comes off of you.
Demons have demons assumed many forms.
Perhaps you're right.
Even
I think for this voyage, perhaps we should spend as much time apart with as much distance as possible. Just to be on the safe side.
It's such a desire.
Alright. That is it for tonight, guys. You have escaped the city successfully with no issues.
We failed in our mission.
Yes, but I'll let you explain that when you get back to Rome.
But
Everybody gets 2 XP for tonight. Great job.
okay. But so I have a question now. You say the prince agrees that they use power on us. So doesn't that mean he actually like kind of help? Yeah, I mean, in our side.
His hand got forced here.
Been pressured on too many fronts.
Exactly. Public pressure would force the men and women of the city against the Romans here, because you can make sure they'll know that. You bet they'll make sure that the person that did this is Roman.
Yeah. They've made sure of that.
Yeah, so therefore, by getting out ahead of this, by saying, oh no, we already kicked the Romans out, they're gone, they're done, their garrison's not here anymore, they avert a lot of the problems, they don't have to defend against it.
Sadly, there's nothing we can do, but at the very least, we have somewhat of an idea on how they're going about their business now, the Carthaginians.
I mean,
How they're converting so many so quickly.
There is also the fact that that other guy, he did not seem to know what happened. So either they went behind his competitors, went behind his back, or he's very good at acting. And if the competitors went behind his back, then there might be some fighting going on during the future between the
That's a very far-fetched thing. Perhaps he was yet not informed, because this happened very quickly, and maybe.
Yeah. It's also likely he knows, and
Oh well, here's a trick. Here's a trick I've heard and learned. If you want your top negotiators to be effective, or any of your social workers, your spies don't tell them anything. So if someone asks them, well, did you know about this? They can wholeheartedly and truthfully say, I had no idea. So he was the face, and the others were the spies.
You know what? I have assumptions. So now Chris pointed that this guy is a high-ranking officer, yet so young. I presume you try to hint that he has a high willpower point, and kind of telling us that we shouldn't dominate this guy. I assume so.
No, it was more. I'm throwing another plot thing out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
might be good for if he had to either find a way for Alba Zoe to make sure that he understands that she had nothing to do with this, or to kill him.
Is next session going to start in Rome?
Yeah. Everybody will be at full willpower. we'll make one hunting roll before we get into Rome, and we'll go from there. So.
And next session, at the end of next session, I can pick up my first Ops Apprentice.
Yeah, can I?
Finally get 4th level of Valor, and not that the 3rd one got any use.
Is it possible for me to find the Gangreal too when we go back to Rome? Like, are we going to do it in the session, or I mean, are we going to spend some effort for it?
There's gonna be a bunch of downtime, and I haven't decided how much. So, it's gonna be basically close to winter by the time you guys get back. So it's gonna be at least 4 months of it. So that's time to do some stuff in the city.
Okay. Between next session and this session, or like?
No, because I'm sure you'll want to talk to the prince as soon as you get back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Then there will be 4 months. So what I will do is I will say, if there's something you really want to do during those 4 months of downtime, send me a message on our private Discord channel, and we'll do it through that.
Yep, sure.
I do believe I've got enough to get another necromancy path, if I may.
Yes, you can. If you have the experience points to spend, you can definitely take it. The thing about necromancy,
Path of
blood
fire.
sorcery, thaumaturgy, anything like that, is that you need to have access to study material to increase your disciplines. Necromancy, of course, requires the study of death and cadavers and stuff like that, scrolls.
Yep.
You had plenty of time on the voyage, on the
Calculating
ships.
how much.
You have had time to study a couple of scrolls that you brought with you during this travel. So, yeah. Oh my freaking god, Discord, you suck.
It's cutting out pretty badly.
So I suggest that we should check those 9 applications.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me
I
now?
think we should. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can now, yeah.
Yes, we'll definitely check those different applications. I'm going to stop recording here. So if you're on YouTube, thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next time.